We're sorry. All of our representatives are still assisting other customers. Please remain on the line as we value your call. We're sorry. All of our representatives are still assisting other customers. Please remain on the line as we value your call.
Trump is out here disrespecting reporters to their face. This is the world we live in now. That's crazy. Oh yeah, my bad. Campbell soup and bioengineered meat. What does it mean for us and our health? And also, dynamic pricing. Imagine getting some turkey and it's like $1.99 when you pick it up, and then by the time you get to the cash register, it's $4.50. We'll get into that and more here on the show. What's the business, y'all? It's your local neighborhood Super Rig. Off in this thing. Welcome to What's the Business with Super Rig. And none of my buttons are working right now because that's just how it is in life. Hope you guys are having a good morning. We will be doing trial by fire right now. If you came over here from the struggle stream, this is the side of me that talks about more newsy topics, less entertainment, even though there will be a smidge of entertainment around these parts. So welcome if you are new here. Today we will be talking about Trump and just this whole administration being crazy, disrespectful stuff. I've never seen the amount of backstabbing and infighting publicly that I have seen in my 44 years on this earth. We will also be talking about the dynamic pricing, how if you've seen these digital tags at your local store and stuff, they may be changing prices right in front of your eyes very soon. It's already happening with our apps when you get these apps on the phone and stuff. So we'll be talking about that. The Campbell soup situation with the bioengineered meat. I want to clarify exactly what the hell is bioengineered meat, and is the meat being 3D printed as he said? And we're gonna dive into that. Also, we will be talking about, I found a clip of the people from the all whites town. I talked about that on the previous episode of What's the Business. And I found a new clip of these folks. And we will be getting into that because they pretty racist. Last but not least, and these may not go in this order, I did not get prepared for the show as much. You know that new Metroid Prime 4 came out for that Switch 2? I was on that all morning. I was supposed to wake up and get the show together, but it's priorities, people. I'm off today. Last but not least, did you know that 160K may be the new poverty line? If you make below that, may be the new poverty line. Someone wrote a Medium story where they kind of broke it down in their own words on how they feel That may be the new property line. This is a live show, so we will be saying what's up to the folks that's out here today. What's the business? Trey working, what's good with you? Eva Renee, what's the business with you? Is that Al's, the little kid? Who is that? I know that's one. I know that's a different. I don't forgot who it was, but what's the business with you? And Melissa bought in. Welcome to the What's the Business show. Let's see. So you know what? We just go kind of do it out of order and stuff. We'll talk about the Tyson's chicken, and since this is a fake run and stuff, I'll be able to do some practice stuff with it as well. First story, mutant noodle soup. Will Campbell need to change their slogan from good to that ain't chicken? We shall find out. Now, the story about this, let me see, I think I got this story set up here. The story about this is very crazy. Campbell's, one of the biggest names in packaged foods, is being sued in Michigan by a former cybersecurity analyst, Robin Garza, who claims he was wrongfully terminated after reporting a secretly recorded conversation with senior executive Martin Bailey, where Bailey called Campbell's products highly processed food for poor people, questioning whether the chicken is bioengineered or from a 3D printer. Now, we actually have some we actually got that audio. Let me pull that up. As I said, not prepared, but you know it's good. We go get there. Where that damn audio at? I had it there. Let's see. Well, looks like I can't find it. I thought I had it in here, but I may not have it. Oh, I know what to do. I know how to find it. All right, this is it right here. All right, and here we go. This is the audio of what he said. Y'all check this out. Tell me what y'all think about this right here. God damn it, didn't play the goddamn audio. Hold on. Let's see. And to anyone that wants to be a YouTuber, this is a way to tell you, make sure that you do your pre-prep before a show. Okay, you don't want to be out here like Super Rig looking crazy. All right, so this is the audio right here. Y'all check this out.
It's for poor people. Who buys our I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, I can eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
Campbell's.
Good.
This morning, Campbell's Soup is denying claims about its products, allegedly made by an executive in a recorded conversation. The person in the recording is also heard belittling Campbell's customers during an expletive-filled rant.
We have that's for poor people. Who buys our I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, I can eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording is allegedly from a conversation that's now part of a lawsuit filed by Robert Garza, a cybersecurity analyst for Campbell's, who claims he was fired after reporting the alleged remarks, which he says also included racist comments about company employees. Garza claims Campbell executive Martin Bailey made those comments after the two met to discuss Garza's salary. In a statement, Garza's attorney saying, "This situation has been very hard on Robert. He thought Campbell's would be thankful that he reported Martin's behavior, but instead, he was abruptly fired." Campbell's responding, saying, "If the comments were in fact made, they are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company." And going on to say, "The comments heard on the recording about our food are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd."
Nothing melts away the cold like a delicious hot bowl of Campbell's soup.
Campbell saying, "The chicken meat used in our soups comes from long-trusted USDA-approved U.S. suppliers and meets our high-quality standards." And the company noting Bally worked in IT and had nothing to do with food production. Bally is on leave pending a company investigation. In the meantime, the Attorney General in Florida, a state that bans lab-grown meat, says his office is now investigating Campbell's products. We reached out to Martin Bally, but did not hear back.
Yeah, they reached out to Martin Bally, but he was like, "Yeah, y'all not about to get none of my information." Hold on, real quick, goddamn it, my damn camera went out.
We're sorry. All of our representatives are still assisting other customers. Please remain on the line as we value your call.
All right, we're back. Thank you for holding for us. So yeah, that's what they stated about their food. If you go to their website,
Campbell
they
says
went
it
on
has not
this
been able to
long
verify.
tirade about Campbell's. Campbell's went on a very, very long tirade to decry what is in their meat. And I went and read it. Let's go here. And the first thing that pops up is this right here, okay? Let's see. About Campbell's, learn about it. Hold on. It used to be the first thing you saw when it popped up. I think they done changed it. All right, here we go. So this is what they put it on their website about their chicken. Okay, they was like, the chicken meat used in Campbell soups come from USDA approved US suppliers. Campbell's does not use 3D printed chicken, lab grown chicken, or any form of artificial bioengineered meat in our soup. This right here is very important, people. I need y'all to understand this is very important. Okay, they don't use bioengineered meat in their soups. Okay. They say the chicken meat used in Campbell's comes from USDA approved US suppliers, meets our high quality standards. Soups are made with no antibiotics, every chicken meat, meaning we don't allow antibiotics to be used in our chicken suppliers. Bottom line, our soup contains real chicken meat from real farms, made with real care, just like it always has. They said, does Campbell's use bioengineered food ingredients? Bioengineered food ingredients refer to genetically modified crops, canola oil, corn, soybeans, sugar beets, etc., that are grown by a vast majority of American farmers. This language on our label refers to the ingredients derived from those crops, not the chicken. Then they came here and said a recent video contained false comments about our ingredients. Why do some people think Campbell uses 3D printed or artificial chicken? The comments heard on the recording about our food are not only inaccurate, they are absurd. We don't use lab grown chicken or any form of artificial or bioengineered meat in our soup. Once again, they say bioengineered meat. This is very important. We will get into why that is very important. We are proud of the food that we make and the high quality ingredients we use. Is Campbell's chicken 3D printed? No, we do not use 3D printed chicken, lab grown chicken, or any form of artificial or bioengineered meat in our soups. This is also very important because when I seen the 3D printed, I was like, damn, they be 3D printing houses and all sorts of stuff. Could it be? And you know it be coming in them damn perfect cubes and stuff. You be like, hold on now. I'll be chopping up chicken. My chicken don't never come out like that. But we go get into it. How does Campbell's ensure the quality and safety of its chicken? They got somebody standing at the end of the line. Look at it. Are Campbell's chickens raised in the U.S.? I don't care about that. And what should customers know about Campbell's chicken? Some BS they go tell us. Now, the reason this is important when they keep saying bioengineered meat, when you do look at the label, if you go look at the Campbell soup can labels, ingredients, there's some Etsy stuff. You want to know something? We ain't even got to go look at the label. Got some of the shit right here, damn it. That's right. Now, this is the broccoli and cheese with potato chunky soup. This is not a commercial or ad. When you look on the back of here, however, at the very bottom, it says contains bioengineered food ingredients. Okay. Now, when they referenced the bioengineered food ingredients from earlier, they said it was the vegetables and stuff. Let's see, it's potatoes, broccoli, vegetable oil, and stuff like that. So that's what they are saying they're referring to, not necessarily chicken. However, that does not mean that the cows or the chicken or whatever meat sources they get don't eat bioengineered food themselves, such as these vegetables. Now, let's get to what bioengineer even means, okay? Let's get to that. Of course, we're gonna go, well, Google got the Gemini now. I was gonna say let's go to ChatGPT, but they got the Gemini. What is, fuck that. We going to Wiki, because Wikipedia is peer reviewed and stuff. So we going to Wikipedia. And we're going to see bioengineered food. If you don't know or you are new here, I cannot spell, but I can read though. So that's pretty good. Wiki. Yeah, we go to the wiki right here. All right. So that takes us to genetically modified foods. All right. Also known as GE foods or bioengineered foods. You see how they be changing the name 50, 20 times? Different stuff, so they always keep us on the toes. These are foods produced by organisms that have had changes introduced into their DNA using various methods of genetic engineering. This is very important. I had a conversation with a friend about this, and it is a very unpopular opinion on what I'm gonna say by the time we get to the end of this, but we gonna get to it. Genetic engineering techniques allow for the introduction of new traits as well as greater control over traits when compared to previous methods such as selective breeding and mutation breeding. Sometimes referred to as variation breeding, this is a mutation part, is a process of exposing seeds to chemicals, radiation, enzymes in order to generate mutants with desirable traits to be bred with other cultivars. Plants created using mutagenesis are sometimes called mutagenic plants. Now, this part right here, we go delve deeper into to see if they have to tell us about this, okay, in the food. Matter of fact, we about to find out now. Do food companies have to tell us about these? Because the bioengineered stuff where they just messing with the DNA is kind of different than the mutative one they exposes stuff to radiation. Food companies are not required to inform customers about food developed through mutation breeding. This technique, which involves exposing seeds to radiation or chemicals to induce random genetic changes, is not classified as a genetically modified organism, GMO, in most countries, including the United States. As a result, products derived from the mutagenized crops are not subject to mandatory labeling or regulation as GMOs. So the GMO, which is the genetically modified organism where they go in and mess with the DNA, the stuff that's exposed to radiation don't have to be labeled. I'm more worried about the radiation stuff than I am the damn you going in and messing with the DNA stuff. They say thousands of eugenized crops, including a variety of wheat, grapefruits, and other fruits and vegetables, are sold in supermarkets without any disclosure of the genetic modification history. Some of these products are even certified organic, as organic standards do not prohibit the use of mutagenesis. Are you kidding me? Despite the random and potentially unpredictable nature of mutations involved, there is no requirement for safety. They said despite the random and potentially unpredictable nature of mutations involved, there is no requirement for safety, testing, or public disclosure. This can't be true. That's well, when I say can't be true, how about we say that's damn crazy. All right. So this takes us to the Genetic Literacy Project. And they are big. They say science is not ideology here. And they're talking about delicious mutant foods, mutagenesis, and the genetic modification controversy. This is from 2016. Yeah, we're going to be here for a minute. I thought this was going to be fast, but I didn't even know this mutagenic stuff existed. They say the website of Wasatch Organics, you can find on the website of Wasatch Organics, you can find one of many people's favorite fruits, scrumptious looking ruby red grapefruits, plump and juicy, or saddle over to Australia's Whisk and Pen Gourmet Food Emporium and pick up some organic ruby red grapefruit marmalade, just as nature intended. Or not. To the foodie, what could be better than natural, ripe, ruby red grapefruit, free from the alleged dangers of pesticides and genetic modification? Organic ruby red should present one of the last havens of natural food, completely unaltered by men. But think again. The ruby red grapefruits, along with 3,000 other crop varieties consumed by millions every day, were actually created through mutation breeding, also known by mutagenesis. Plants were exposed to atomic radiation, thousands of genes scrambled in laboratory experiments that took years. In the last 60 years, mutation breeding has produced a sizable fraction of the world's crops. Now, you see that keep saying crops. They ain't talking about meat. We go investigate that part, but they've been mutating the vegetables. Y'all, now, I'm not a fan of Dr. Sebi. Okay, I think he was a super scam artist who did tell facts, but also was a scammer at the same damn time. But remember, they was like broccoli and all that stuff is man-made. There is a way to genetically modify plants and stuff and cross grow them like you do animals and stuff. That's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that in a minute. Mutations or physical changes in the organism DNA are the basis for all biological variation. I skipped over something. Varieties of wheat, including almost all the most popular varieties used to make top grade Italian pastas. Not my presto. Not my damn presto. Vegetables, fruit, rice, herbs, and cotton have been altered or enhanced with gamma rays. Not the Incredible Hulk rays. And often separately or additionally soaked in toxic chemicals in the hopes of producing new desirable traits. Now these varieties are marketed as conventional and organic foods and are unlabeled. Mutations or physical changes in organisms' DNA are the basis for all biological variation throughout evolutionary time. DNA changes are caused by mistakes during replication. That's how we got Drake. Damage from cosmic or terrestrial radiation or other natural forces. And they can manifest in new traits like changes in appearance or taste. Mutations can then be selected by nature or by humans to create a new plant species or a new variation on the existing one. Basically, it sounds like evolution, what they be calling evolution or whatever. One of the biggest obstacles in creating crop varieties is the conventional plant breeders can only develop new traits from traits that appear naturally. How can they create new colors, flavors, or disease resistance that makes a crop a commercial success if they can't just breed it in from another species? In the late 1940s, plant breeders addressed this problem by using one of the newest tools of the day, atomic radiation. In an effort to find peaceful uses for atomic energy, scientists discovered that exposing plants in two different types of radiation damages the plant's DNA. Discovered that exposing plants to different type of radiation damages the plant's DNA and causes new mutations. The radiation allows them to generate random mutations at a faster rate, which means a higher likelihood of finding a new useful trait. Are they telling me they just kept zapping it and then tested it and then it was like, oh, okay, you can't use that. You know, who want to eat some black and white striped bananas? We go to zap it again and see if we could just be some bananas that don't go rotten. That is wild. According to the federal government's mutant variety database, hold on, it's a whole database. Thousands of new varieties have been created through mutation breeding, either by radiation like gamma rays, thermal neutrons, or X-rays, or by exposure to certain chemicals. When grapefruits were first grown in the U.S., they were not used for agriculture or even considered a commodity. One American gardening journal from the late 1800s even referred to the fruit as thick-skinned and worthless. You gotta be honest, grapefruits are nasty. They are pretty nasty. They're like at the bottom of the fruit totem pole, in my opinion. In the case of ruby red grapefruits, mutation breeding, honed in years of laboratory experimentation, helped recover a fading trait that once made the grapefruits a commercial success. The fleshy inside of the grapefruit only appeared white or slightly pink until 1929, when farmers in Texas discovered a pink grapefruit tree that produced a fruit with ruby red flesh. After years of breeding new plants from this tree, which I think is like the actual organic way of, like I was telling y'all, how they be making Doberman poodles and stuff, Doberschmoodles or whatever the hell be calling. They just breed the seeds some kind of way. The fruit it produced lost its bright red fruit color and faded back to the original pink. Scientists irradiated the tree with thermal neutrons and eventually created a mutation that produced a darker and more vibrant fruit color with almost no seeds. The Star Ruby and the Rio Red were introduced in 1971 and 1985 respectively, and these two mutant varieties now make up 75% of Texas grapefruit crop. This is crazy to me, because what happened to what did the other mutations do? Did they just make ugly fruit, or disgustingly fruit with too many seeds in it, or fruit that came to life and killed people? I seen Attack of the damn Killer Tomatoes. What if it's killer grapefruits running around this thing? Mutations breeding has also been used to combat destructive plant diseases. The leading variety of Japanese pears, known as, I'm not going to disrespect that word, would have lost decades. What is it? Would have lost decades ago. Would have been lost decades ago without mutation breeding techniques. This variety, which made up 28% of Japan's pear crop in 1990, is extremely susceptible to black spot disease. In 1962, rows of the pear were exposed to gamma rays. This is 92. They got a hold. I mean, 62. They got a hold to the gamma rays and went crazy. Just started spraying everything with it. They exposed it to gamma rays in the hopes that the mutation would produce a cultivar that still had the original's high quality traits, only with enhanced disease resistance. In 1981, after almost 20 years of radiation, a plant finally appeared without symptoms, even after being exposed to the disease. The new variety, Gold, I'm not going to disrespect the word, was released in 1991 and is considered a monumental achievement in mutagenesis. These folks tested a plant for 20 years. I ain't go front. I'm impressed by the patience. Crops produced through mutation breeding have been sold in supermarkets for decades with no label or widespread common knowledge about their genetic alterations. These varieties can be labeled organic as long as they are grown meeting other production requirements. They are not required to undergo any testing. And the mutation breeding may still require years of continued crossing to separate preferred traits from undesirable ones. What the hell do they mean? No testing. What? Although it's considered old technology, mutation breeding is experiencing a reemergence in the popularity thanks to new techniques known as tilling, which allows researchers to rapidly identify mutations in specific genes. Many food scientists are also frustrated at the restrictions imposed on far more precise methods of breeding using genetic engineering, in part because of outcries from organic activists who readily embrace the random impact of radiation and chemical mutagenesis. Wait, from organic activists who readily embrace the random impact of radiation and chemical. What the fuck? Yeah, we are. Why is they? Mutagenesis is now being used widely as an alternative because a gene can still be disrupted with no mutation, but new varieties developed through this process have no regulatory barriers. The arduous approval process for transgenic crops, it's even in crops, you guys, in the EU has left crop improvement companies returning to mutation breeding and tilling to find mutations in desired genes. Today, the genetic improvement of crop plants have been steeped in controversy and misinformation, but surprisingly, mutation breeding, which is arguably the most radical and least understood of genetic improvement, has safely produced new plant varieties that offer new traits to consumers over half a century. Y'all ever seen them damn grapes that supposed to taste like cotton candy? They were selling at Walmart, and that's what the hell this is. How the hell else you go get cotton candy grapes? I knew that stuff was crazy. I knew it was crazy when I first seen it. Now, my next question is, how does eating mutagenic food affect us? If they've been doing it forever, because this is the thing. This is a very unpopular opinion I be having, but we be worried about, all of this food go kill us, right? But I be having aunties that's 90-some years old, still eat bologna. They eat that rolled up, that flattened out hot dogs. I believe that bologna is a hot dog and they just flatten it out in a pizza and then put a red strip around it. They still be alive. So just how dangerous are these foods to us? Let's get to it. Let's see. Because apparently and if they said, they basically, since it ain't got to be labeled, it's no reason why I can't believe that all crops are mutated. Now, they did say that this mutation does occur naturally in nature, but putting the gamma rays on it can speed it up. And I gotta be honest, this may be racially insensitive what I'm about to say, but if the Japanese is doing it, it's gotta be okay. All right. I went over there. Them some young looking motherfuckers, and they stay healthy. If they rice is mutated over there, I guess it's okay. All right. I don't see. You can email any disputes about what I'm saying or complaints to It's Brisk said that at gmail.com. If you don't know who that is, just email it. They'll get it. Let's see. Let's ask the internet. Do mutation to okay. No. How does mutagenesis by gamma rays affect human beings who consume the foods by that process? Let's see. So this is what I'm asking. So this is what it says, okay? And I hate they be using the word generally. The consumption of foods produced through gamma ray induced mutagenesis is generally considered safe, but human health considerations remain important in evaluating the safety of such crops. And they got where it is cited and stuff, so it ain't just imagining. While the process is used to develop improved crop varieties and desirable traits like higher yield, better nutritional content, or disease resistance, it is essential to assess whether these modified crops pose any risk to human health. This includes examining the potential accumulation of harmful substances, changes in nutritional composition, or the development of allergenicity due to the mutagen process. Studies have shown that gamma ray radiation can alter the biochemical profiles of crops, including changes in phytochemicals and phytohormones, which may influence the health promoting properties of food. For example, research of functional rice variety, I just told y'all about that rice, demonstrated that gamma ray mutagens led to enhanced levels of limiting amino acids like lysine and tryptophan, as well as increased protein content, potentially improving nutritional quality. However, the random nature of mutagenesis means that unintended mutations could also lead to the production of anti-nutritional compounds or toxins, which must be carefully evaluated. Although the mutagenic process itself does not leave residual radiation, this is what I want to know. Does not leave residual radiation in the food, the formation of radiolytic, y'all know what the hell it is, products during irradiation, particularly in sterilized animal diets. As you see, they said diets. We ain't eating hook meat yet. Has raised ongoing research questions about their long-term safety. Nevertheless, the primary concern for human consumers is not radiation exposure, but the biological and chemical changes in the food resulting from the mutations. Regulatory oversight for these crops is often less stringent than for genetically modified organisms. Why? And many mutant varieties are even labeled organic despite their alterations. I want to know why this is. Why is regulatory oversight for these crops for mutagenic crops? I'm sorry, y'all, but welcome to ADHD. This might be called the ADHD show, because I'm gonna just keep going deeper and deeper so I understand stuff. These mutagenic crops less stringent. Yeah, I want to know why that is. Because that's insane to me, right? Regulatory oversight for mutagenic crops, particularly those developed using gene editing techniques like CRISPR-Cas9, is less stringent than for traditionally genetically modified organisms, because these crops often do not contain foreign DNA from plant pests, such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, or insects, which are the primary focus of current regulatory frameworks. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services, APHIS, regulates genetically engineered crops based on whether they contain genetic material from plant pests. If not, they may be granted non-regulated status, allowing cultivation and transport without further oversight from the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services. This is exemplified by the 2016 approval of CRISPR-edited button mushroom that resists browning, which was granted non-regulatory status because it did not contain foreign DNA. Okay. Furthermore, mutation rates from genome editing are considered low and comparable to or lower than the background mutation rates naturally occurring in conventional breeding, including chemical and irradiation-based mutagens, which are not regulated. So basically, we can keep going, but basically what it's saying is the other GMOs, they take stuff from other sources and put that in the DNA of the new stuff. Okay. It says, since off-target effects in gene editing crops are typically negligible and can be segregated during breeding, APHIS does not consider them a significant risk during regulation. As a result, gene-edited crops that are indistinguishable from those produced through conventional breeding, such as high oleic soybean oil, herbicide tolerant canola, and waxy corn, have entered the market under less stringent oversight. This approach reflects a risk proportionate regulatory system that focuses oversight on organisms with a plausible plant risk rather than applying broad regulation. Anyway, so I hope y'all heard all the times that they said that these mutated foods can and are labeled organic long as they are grown a certain way, basically is what they're saying. Which, as we did the deep dive into it, they've been doing this for decades. If even the organic stuff is affected by the mutation, that means that Jeff Bezos, all the rich folks, is eating mutagenicized foods and stuff. All right. No, a lot of people be like, oh, they want to kill off all the poor people. No, they don't. This is an argument I have to tell people all the time. They be like, they want to kill us all. I be like, but who gonna be their slaves? Right now they saying, well, hey, y'all go to them robots. They scared of them robots. Have y'all ever seen Ex Machinima? They ain't let them robots run around their house just yet. They got the Rosie the robot ones got their hands out, but them whole humans, they will snap their necks and stuff, right? So they still need us for a good 20, 30 years. All right, so don't be afraid. As far as the Campbell soup controversy, in my humble opinion, me personally, I'm still eat it. You want to know why? I eat McDonald's. Do I need to say anything else? A lot of people is boycotting some great bioengineered food out here. A lot of people will complain, but we just saw that organic ain't the organic that people think it is. So if you can't trust the Whole Foods, what can you do is what I'm saying. So if you on the budget, now I see a lot of people cooking their own fish. I mean, they own soups. Guess what? All of that, the ingredients you make your own soup is mutagenized, as we just read. We read it. It's all touched. The only way you go get some unmutagenized stuff is to leave America, okay? And you can't go to another large metroplex or city or anything. You have to go to rural back Botswana, okay? Find wild chickens. You have to fly out there. If you don't want no mutagen, you go out to go out and kill your own chicken. You get it. You get them by the head and swirl them around, crack the neck, and plant your own rutabagas or whatever the hell be going in fish. If you don't want it to be touched by gamma rays and stuff, we is eating Marvel movie universe foods out here, and they call it organic. Let me know what you think in the comments about that. Are you gonna just stop eating food in general? Because it ain't no way around it. All right, it really is not. Okay. Also, I want to point out, let's see about the food, about chicken and stuff. Let's see about genetically modified. Let's go into the 3D printed part of it as well. But are animals we eat? No. Animals the wealthy eat, aka organic animals, genetically modified. Let's see what this is. Animals commonly consumed by the wealthy, such as those raised for organic meat and dairy, are not genetically modified organisms in the sense of having their genomes altered through genetic engineering. The term organic in agriculture specifically prohibits the use of genetically modified organisms, including animals, in the productions of organic food. Therefore, organic animals are not genetically modified. However, it is important to note that even non-organic animals, including those consumed by the wealthy, often eat genetically modified feed. Am I tripping? Because to me, if the animal eating GMOs, ain't what goes in comes out. I'm just saying as far as label. I'm not saying as far as human health. Okay, I'm just saying is labeling. But as we seeing, they ain't need no better than us if we go by the science stuff. Where's my dang button for my Chrome stuff? Let's read this again. However, it is important to note that even non-organic animals, including those consumed by the wealthy, often eat genetically modified feed. More than 95% of livestock in the United States, including cattle, poultry, and pigs, are fed GMO crops such as corn and soybeans. Despite this, the DNA from the GMO feeds does not transfer into the animal's body, meaning the animals themselves do not become GMOs. Consequently, the meat, milk, and eggs produced by these animals are not genetically modified regardless of their feed. All right, this is science. In summary, while the animals themselves are not genetically modified, especially if these are raised organically, they may consume GMO feed. The final products, meat, milk, and eggs, are not considered genetically modified, as the genetic material from the feed does not integrate into the animal's DNA. All right. So that sounds good to me. I ain't really tripping. I grew up eating I grew up eating ramen noodles and Spam. I'm still alive. Let's continue. So let's get to the point of the 3D printed meat. 3D printed meat. Okay. Are 3D printed meats being mass produced? And I'm asking it this way to get a certain type of answer, y'all. Just bear with me. As of December 2025, 3D printed meat is not yet being mass produced on a global scale, though significant advancements and limited commercial applications are emerging. I knew this because I did do some research before the thing. I just want to just give explanations. The technology remains primarily in early commercial or experimental stages, with production constrained by high costs, slow printing speeds, and regulatory hurdles. When I did my research on it, I was like, it sound good that we would be eating 3D printed meat, but I know the process is hella expensive. Same thing with the 3D printed houses and stuff. It's supposed to be cheaper, but it's such early in the technology of it getting in the hands of such a small few. The production of it is very expensive. But there are two main companies that make it, and they only serve them in two places. We'll get into that. Maybe this will go into it. Singapore stands as a pioneer, being the first country to approve the sale and mass production of 3D printed meats, setting a precedent for other nations. However, in most regions, including the United States and much of Europe, 3D printed meat products are still rare, tightly regulated, and available only through select restaurants, pilot programs, or high-end tastings. This is something else people got to understand about certain stuff. The wealthy and stuff, they be talking about health and all, but they like new crap. It's this movie about this chef that made all of this crazy stuff. You had to be real rich to get into the tasting and stuff, and then it end real crazy. Y'all should check out that movie. I don't know how, because I don't remember the name, but it just shows you that rich folks be wanting stuff that's cutting edge, new, because in their brain, 3D printed meat is genetically, they want to genetically engineer all their stuff so it be the best. Okay, and they do that. All right, so they go get it first before we get it. All right, because they can make it actually better. It sounds scary and like, oh, you gotta eat of the, but we done did so much science and stuff. That's how folks is getting BBL eggs. Let's continue. Now, when I say better, I don't mean better in like I think it's better or it's better in general. I'm just saying on paper better. Let's get this out the way. Limited commercial availability. While companies like Stakeholder Foods and Nova Meat and Miatep have developed prototypes and served 3D printed steaks and other meat alternatives, these are not yet available in supermarkets or mass market supply chains. Some restaurants in Germany, the Netherlands, and the UK have started serving 3D printed steaks, indicating small scale market inroads. I actually want to see what the hell these look like, because I need to see. Production challenges. The current speed of 3D printing food is too slow for large-scale meat production. Even the fastest processes, such as direct energy deposition, can only produce 20 kilograms per hour, which is insufficient for meeting global meat consumption levels of around 350 million tons annually. This makes mass production impractical with existing technology. And they can't sell no goddamn chicken noodle soup for $1.99 at no 20 kilograms per hour. It would be truffle prices if they was to do that. Regulatory and market barriers. Despite progress, 3D printed meat is not yet a part of the mainstream food supply chains. Major packaged food companies like Campbell's have not implemented 3D printing in their products, and claims about such have led to public confusion. Let's see where it cited this. This is from 3dprint.com where they cited this. Hello. Let me show y'all where they got this. They cited this. This ain't from Campbell's itself. This is from 3dprint.com, a additive manufacturing business, which I think what they call the materials. So this is from them. This wasn't propaganda by the Campbell company. Future outlook. As production scales and costs decrease, the technology may become more viable. North Carolina-based Believer Meats plans to build a 200,000-foot facility capable of producing 10,000 metric tons of meat alternatives annually, signaling growing industry investments. However, this facility is still under development and not yet operational. In summary, while 3D printed meat is being developed and tested, it is not currently mass produced for widespread consumer distribution. Now, I want to see what this damn 3D printed steaks look like in the Netherlands and stuff. This is do they got a video? Oh yeah, let's check this out. These are 3D printed meats, y'all. Check this out.
Wow, it's great. It feels like the real thing.
So this is soy based 3D printed meat and pea protein.
Genius. It's the cleverest thing.
This man probably a millionaire. I'm gonna tell you this right here. This is how you judge how rich somebody is. The more unkempt they is in these type of videos, only in these, the more money they got. Cause once you get to that amount of money, it don't matter if you stink or look like you stink. Cause you actually got money. You don't give a damn.
I've ever seen in 45 years of being a cook.
Yeah. So if you see right here where they show little mama actually putting this stuff on the grill, as you see here, if you grew up like I grew up, this is obviously spam. Okay, this is some goddamn spam is what the hell it is. All right. Now I went through all of this because a lot of people, a lot of us out here, and I believe there is a conspiracy to scare people, okay, from consuming certain stuff so that they spend more money on unnecessary shit that they can't afford to make them broker. So instead of eating, you know, affordable stuff that's not gonna kill you, they got folks out here now buying organic this. The organic soups be $3.99. And it's mutagen stuff. We ain't getting around it. And as y'all saw, the wealthy are excited about the 3D printed meats. There is another form of 3D printed meat that is not plant-based, where they take animal cells and regenerate that and layer it on top. That though is prohibitively expensive to do at this moment. So I know a lot of people thought I was gonna come on here and be like, oh, don't you eat Campbell? Look, don't eat nothing, especially if you live in America. If you live in America, don't eat nothing if you don't want it touched by the man. It's all touched by the man, and they actually think it's a good thing. But this when you need to get worried. If you ever see this right here, If you ever see something called Soylent Green in your area, that's when the hell you need to get the hell out of here. Okay, a lot of people ain't seen this movie. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. This is what Soylent Green looks like. It is green packs. It looks like some packs you might get from your weed dealer. That's why it's called Soylent Green. However, they tell you what Soylent Green is on the damn cover of the damn movie. Okay, so if you check that out, you want to know what Soylent Green is, please watch this movie. Okay, it's one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever, and they said people need it in the year 2022. This is from the 70s. They was predicting we was gonna be eating Soylent Green. But please people, I know it's gonna sound crazy. I'm anti-capitalism. Well, capitalism cannot be avoided in this system if you want to be able to have food, shelter, and clothing. But I'm not pro-capitalism. I'm just be aware of what you are buying and understand that there are certain tricks where if they trying to point you in certain directions, they trying to screw you over. The organic people right now they couldn't wait. When they seen this Campbell situation go, they was like, hell yes, our sales about to increase. When they using mutagenic foods, no different from this. Only difference is you can taste the difference between organic and not organic meat. That's a fact. But that's because of what is fed. Grass-fed cows and grass-fed all that. That's where the real difference is in it. But look for grass-fed. Make sure it always say grass-fed. That's the most important thing. If them the meats you eating consume corn or anything else, any type of feed, that's the main thing to look for. So if you do want to get the most flavorful and most closest to real organic, make sure it's grass-fed. Because if it's corn or anything else, you out the dirt. And to be honest with you, even grass is a plant. They genetically modify. Where you think we be getting golf grass and all of these grasses? They do the same thing with grass. So you probably not gonna get out of the mutagenetic stuff. But taste wise, make sure it's grass fed. All right. How long did I spend on that? That was a whole hour. I was not expecting that to be that long, but I got caught up in the details of it. Next up, we gonna stay on capitalism right now. If you're not aware of this term, dynamic pricing, we gonna get into what dynamic pricing is. A lot of people don't know what it is, but we gonna get into it. Of course, going to that good old peer review Wikipedia. A lot of people like, anybody can put stuff in Wikipedia. In order to get Wikipedia stuff, you gotta cite it and then go back. All right, the only time you really gotta be concerned about it being false information is usually if it's about a celebrity. And it usually beats it down pretty quick by their team because of Google alerts. Let's go into this. Dynamic pricing, also referred to as surge pricing, demand pricing, time-based pricing, and variable pricing, is a revenue management pricing strategy in which businesses set flexible prices. I don't got that $2.75 for you. In which businesses set flexible prices for products or services based on current market demands. It usually entails raising prices during periods of peak demand and lowering prices during periods of slow demand. So I want y'all to imagine this. Anybody that has ridden Uber or Lyft, we have all been there. You done went, looked ahead of time, and before you landed to wherever you was going, be like, oh, okay, yeah. It's usually best to get your car beforehand unless you know the peak times of where you're going. Because you could get it before time and they told you that trip was going to be $12. And if you book it then, you got the price locked in. Then you land and you look, if you had booked the same price, it's $27. But by the time you got there, it was peak time. They've been doing dynamic pricing really for a very long time. Remember our old phone plans with Sprint? And AT&T back in the day, Nextel, the reason we had them crazy bills because the peak time was when everybody was on the phone. That's why we got free nights and weekends, because most people would sleep around then, and the network was slower and stuff, so they didn't charge as much. But just imagine you go to the store and it is a package of bologna. It is $1.99. By the time you get to the damn register, though, it's done went up to $2.15. That is what dynamic pricing is, and actually, I believe Kroger's is one of the first stores that have started. I think what is it called? What is it called? Kroger's. Yeah, this is right here. This was 3 months ago. All right, let's check this out.
Happens as local Kroger stores begin a major shift to digital price tags.
Yeah, our consumer team, John Mattery's Taylor Nimmo standing by. What are we going to see here in the stores, guys?
Adrian, we've been hearing about the move to digital shelf tags for months now at both Walmart and Kroger stores. And this week, they're starting to show up in some Cincinnati area Kroger stores.
These tags make it so easy for stores to set and change prices, but critics and some lawmakers worry this could set the stage for surge pricing.
Take a look at what shoppers at several tri-state Kroger stores are seeing when they shop this week. The old paper shelf tags are gone. They've been replaced by small white electronic signboards under each item.
It's a very clean look, though in some cases it's tough to know if the item's on sale because the print's so small. You have to look closely to see if you need to buy 5 items to get the sale price. But critics say a bigger worry is stores could raise prices during busy times or before a winter snowstorm, which is known as surge pricing.
It's definitely concerning that they can do it right then and there. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Digital price tags can be changed hundreds of times a day.
We reached out to Kroger's media spokesperson this morning, but have not heard back. However, Kroger has told ABC News that it's committed to using this technology responsibly and ethically, and that the labels won't be used for surge pricing. Now, we'd love to know what shoppers think of these new digital shelf tags and what stores they're at, so feel free to send John.
The woman just said, I can't believe the price changed that fast. And actually, I can't believe I forgot where surge pricing has always been. Damn gas station. The gas stations change to their digital sign so that they can change whenever they need to at any time and stuff. But when it gets to the grocery stores, it's crazy. Now, it's something else I found out. Dynamic pricing can be detrimental to people on fixed budgets. Very detrimental. At the time being, everybody about to be on a damn fixed budget. But we get these apps on my phones. We get the McDonald's app and the Pizza Hut app and all that stuff, and they be rolling out these deals. But have any of y'all ever looked at your deal and then looked at the deals available to somebody else in your household or a friend or family or stuff, and it was different? Most of the time it's location based. A McDonald's over here might be having these deals, and you try to order at another McDonald's, it's some other deals. But there are cases of when we give all the permissions to our phones, they know what type of phone you have, what location you are. And most of our phones get access to metadata that knows our shopping habits because of the cookies and stuff, and they can go through and be like, oh, this person shop in Neiman Marcus. This person be ordering from Sharp Image. Is Sharp Image still open? I remember that was where the rich people would get stupid gadgets and gadgets and stuff. I used to work at their warehouse. But there are stories, which we go look for, of people finding out that apps was pricing people based on that metadata. So if they see that, you got an iPhone 17 and you are in the richest zip code in your area, your price might be higher than somebody else. Another company or industry, I forgot, dynamic pricing has always been around, is airlines, right? And some people have found out, I don't know if y'all know this, but you can use VPN on your computer or on your phone if you got it, and change the location where you are making your request. So let's say you are in New York and you trying to get a flight to Japan, right? It might tell you one set of prices from New York to Japan, right? But if you go to a VPN, which a VPN just lets you log into another computer in another location and then use their IP address or their address, it's kind of like forwarding, right? Mail forwarding, to be the source of your request. If you log into a VPN and make the same, look for the same ticket in Australia from New York to Japan, it might be higher, it might be cheaper, because they base it on a whole bunch of stuff. The sites do. Your cookies, which is most of the thing. It's things called pixels. I think them for ads and stuff like that. But let me see if I can find that story that was about that. Oh, I do know the story. It was by the Wall Street Journal, I believe. New York Times. Let's see. Press. This is it right here. We gonna check this out. It ain't too long.
This is the story of a little piece of technology
and this is more into the dynamic pricing, and this is a story I learned about how they use our metadata. But we go in here. I'm gonna talk through it so it don't get us for no copyright strikes.
You have been taking for granted. Almost every time you've gone to the store, this little guy has been fighting for you. It's called the price tag. And over the past decade, companies have been on a secret mission to kill it without you noticing. The scary part is they're actually getting away with it. And that's because a lot of us who grew up with the price tag just never realized how radical it really was.
I did not. And the short story, I used to work at Drug Emporium back in the day, and I don't know if they done updated their system, but they still had the price tags in the register where you had to type in the prices. Let's just say I got a bunch of $7.99 protein shakes for a good 99 cents. Let's continue.
Back in the 1800s, shopping was like a game. The clerk would charge you based on what they thought was important at the time, like the length of the line, the time of day, or how rich you looked. If you didn't like the price he named,
20,
you'd haggle.
15.
So they was doing organic dynamic pricing. Actually, to be honest, going to the marketplaces, them, is basically dynamic pricing, because they will eye you and be like, yeah, that's Stacey Adams' son. I'm gonna charge you $10 less because look like you trying to perpetrate. Let's continue.
17, my last word. I won't take a penny less or strike me dead. 16, done.
The Quakers had a problem with this. People were paying different prices for the same product, and that was unfair. So they started posting prices. Other stores followed suit, and this one-price system completely changed how Americans shopped. You could more easily compare prices between stores, and that pressured stores to lower prices. In the 1930s, Stan Avery invented what he called come clean adhesives. The name didn't stick, but the product sure did. Soon enough, price tags were everywhere. Each of these stickers was like a little handshake. It represented an agreement. One price for every customer.
It'd be crazy how certain inventions affect something else. Just this dude coming up with the sticker changed everything. That's insane.
But now, that agreement is breaking. With AI and automated surveillance, corporations are turning shopping back into a game. Except this time, all of us are going to get played.
Tonight, hidden threat to your wallet.
It's a practice called dynamic pricing.
The price of your groceries may soon change right in front of your eyes.
You've probably heard about dynamic pricing. It's the reason Uber prices keep changing and flight costs jump up and down.
Feels like we're constantly being taken advantage of.
It can send concert ticket prices through the roof. Companies are using algorithms to instantly change prices based on demand, competition, and what they know about their customers.
Hey, that damn dynamic pricing with the concert tickets is some BS. on some real stuff. You be sitting next to somebody you done paid $400 for floor seats, and then they bought it like 10 minutes before the damn thing because it didn't sell out. Like, oh yeah, I got mine for $150, and you be ready to cut somebody's neck. It is wild. Let's continue.
These algorithms are in a race to identify the highest price at which a sale can still be made. And customers don't exactly love it.
Whoever invented dynamic pricing is going to hell.
Dynamic pricing bullshit.
Okay, let's chat about the ticket prices, shall we? Oh my lord.
Let's be clear. Price changes are the language of capitalism. It's how we talk to each other about supply and demand. In some cases, having algorithms make these changes can benefit both customers and companies. But as dynamic pricing proliferates, companies are also using this technology to take advantage of customers. And they're doing this in 3 ways: the illegal way, the legal way, and the definitely should be illegal way. Let's start by breaking the law.
That's how America operates. The should be illegal way.
Now, back in the price tag days, collusion took a lot of effort. The bosses had to sit around a table with their competitors and smoke a cigarette and agree to raise prices without getting caught. But today, with pricing algorithms, collusion is just a few clicks away. When a bunch of individual companies sign up for the same algorithm, they can effectively collude without ever talking to each other. Just look at what happened with RealPage.
Software firm RealPage is accused of scheming with landlords to keep rents high.
Landlords subscribing to the service would input data about their apartments, including location, square footage, and amenities. The algorithm would tell them how much to charge for rent. But the algorithm wasn't designed to determine the market price. It was designed to maximize landlord profits. So it did all the things that would have been done in a backdoor deal with an ease that old-fashioned colluders could only dream of. It advised landlords to price their apartments above the market rate. And if demand was falling, it told landlords to leave apartments empty rather than reducing rents. The company boasted that their algorithm raised revenue by 3 to 7%. This scheme impacted over 3 million apartments across the country. And as a result, Americans were overcharged by billions of dollars. Now, the good news is that this model is likely illegal. In fact, the Justice Department sued RealPage.
That's classic price fixing.
Earlier this week, RealPage settled the case, agreeing to change its business practices. But even if this model of sharing the same algorithm is illegal, this model, where each company uses its own algorithm, is legal.
That's wow. How that works with the prices. Everything is really set against us, and it really is like that when you buy a house. That whole with your property taxes, you contest it. They want the last time a house sold, the three sales in your area. You can come back with it, but what they have on MLS and what actually sold for it don't be the same. I bought my house and they was asking for a stupid amount. This was before COVID. And I went in and I was like 20 racks, 25 racks cheaper. And they was like, okay. And I remember, I believe it still said it sold for, it didn't say it sold for, but in Zillow, it said sale, but it had the price that they had listed, and that ain't what I paid. So if I wanted to go combat it my taxes and stuff, if everybody have this inflated price based on the last 3 sales, but it's not the accurate data for what people really paid, you get screwed. Let's continue.
New research suggests that even when companies are using different algorithms, prices still go up. Let's say you run a gas station, and your biggest rival is over here, on the other side of town. Throughout the day, you're constantly afraid that your rival is stealing business by offering lower prices. And you're constantly trying to steal business from them by cutting your own prices. This competition is painful for you and your rival. But guess who benefits? The drivers. Fast forward to 2025, and you and your competitor are both using dynamic pricing algorithms. They're different systems, but they both do the same thing. They constantly monitor the other station's prices and immediately match any price cuts. The result is a stalemate. You both stop trying to undercut each other on price because you know that the other station would immediately respond. So prices stay high and both of you make more money. But guess who loses? The drivers. They end up paying more for gas. A study of gas stations in Germany found that stations that adopted algorithms were able to charge prices 15% higher than before the computers took over. And researchers are finding similar patterns in a growing number of markets. This would help explain why companies are so eager to ramp up dynamic pricing. Digital price tags that allow retailers to update their prices instantly are already in use. And even small stores can play the big data game. Shop owners can rent pricing algorithms for as low as $79 per month. And that brings us to the definitely should be illegal way that algorithms are used to take advantage of customers. These algorithms aren't just studying competitors, they're also studying you.
This was the crazy stuff right here. This is the crazy stuff.
Companies want to know how much you make, how you make decisions, your emotional triggers, and when and where you're willing to spend. So they're tricking you into handing over this information by offering you
My McDonald's Rewards gets you breakfast before work.
We're rewarding you with $1 off your next purchase.
These programs do offer loyalty discounts, but make no mistake, you are the reward. Loyalty programs have become massive data harvesting operations. Sign up for My McDonald's, and with one small checkmark, you've given the company permission to track your geolocation, internet history, and social media. The grocery store chain Kroger has stated they have over 60 million household profiles. And unlike McDonald's, they're not just using this data themselves, they're selling it to other companies. So, what's the harm? Well, companies have already been caught quoting higher prices to people logged in on fancier devices, and offering higher priced products based on browser history. It's easy to envision how things could get worse. Imagine a drugstore chain increasing the price of your medication by hundreds of dollars because they know you need it. Or that a rental site knows that you need housing immediately because your new job starts in 2 weeks, so it ups the rental prices that you see. Imagine that your city faces a boil water advisory.
Boil water advisory is in effect.
And so an algorithm raises the price of bottled water. Imagine that your smart speaker overhears a conversation in which you mention that you're out of paper towels. And so, knowing you're about to make this purchase, it ups the price. This is the future of the price tag. A series of algorithms that study you, that stalk you, that do everything in their power to squeeze every possible cent from your pocket. Governments are starting to take these problems seriously. Regulators have pursued companies that use algorithms to collude, but we still need stronger laws. Legislatures should regulate when companies can change their prices. They could even set a single time for price changes, like 6 a.m. That would restore the need to compete on price. Governments also need to limit the use of personal data by both rewards programs and pricing algorithms.
And that's not going to happen because our next subject we're about to get into, which is who is running our current administration, which is the Trump administration. Currently, what is occurring now is the same thing that happened when Reagan got into office. Everything is getting deregulated. People wanted less government, which what that person talked about, we need more legislation to control the price of. Well, not in this administration. They don't want government to control stuff. They want everything privatized so they can do all of this stuff. The saddest part about this is we willfully give these companies this access. I ain't gonna front. I have pretty much every fast food app in this phone. I got another phone with every fast food app in there with a whole nother email and a whole nother profile, so I can get like the double, you know what I'm saying, they only let you use a certain amount or whatever. But these folks know all my habits. I had to turn off notifications because it's like they knew when I wanted something or they was listening or whatever, because it would pop up, be like, oh, for this time only, you get $5 double Whopper with cheese. I'm like, $5 because some hoes $8. Don't even be hungry. Order it because I can't miss out on such a good deal. And it works even when you are cognizant of it. I catch myself every once in a while like, you dirty muff. But if they catch me, another thing is they know your mood. We be giving these access. I'm not sure about iPhones. Well, it'll tell you. But if you give these apps access to your text messages, it can see if you talking to somebody, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling sad, you done went through a breakup, you done met somebody, you happy. If you happy, they know you more open to spend money on certain stuff. If you sad, they know what you are more open to spend money on, and that should be illegal. Unfortunately, since it's not illegal for the companies to request it, we go give it to them out of convenience. I know myself tried to stay away from the apps because I already knew the back end, what they was doing and stuff. But one day I just realized, I was like, okay, so I'm what I'm gonna do? I'm spending money some damn where. So I might as well spend it and get a good deal off the prices and stuff. But for a lot of us, it's a bad thing. And also, like what they told us, if they basing it off of what they assume your income is, all them people that be fake, falsing, and acting like they really got it. Atlanta, I'm talking to you. And LA, I'm talking to y'all. Y'all are getting y'all prices increased on these apps because they think you balling, because you is spending the last of your money to stay in these luxury apartments and you can't really afford it. So they got you paying $8 for a McDouble because that's really what you could afford in that thing. All jokes aside, it's really jacked up and it's just gonna get worse. This whole and to be honest, when we really think about it, how Trump was doing all them tariffs and stuff, that would increase the chances of dynamic pricing, because if I'm a retailer and I never know how much my product go cost for me to ship it in and stuff, people's prices was changing crazy. When I was getting a new computer, the price for the GPU in it was just going crazy because none of the manufacturers knew or the importers knew what the tariff prices was. So we getting affected, and eventually they gonna be like, well, since prices change so crazy, it's gonna turn into Uber just for our regular stuff. And really, to be honest, it's already happening because most people order they stuff they need for the house from where? Amazon. And Amazon can change. How many times you went to Amazon and bought something and then like 2 weeks later you see it's 10% off or 20% off? They call it a sale. That's dynamic pricing on some real stuff. So us buying stuff digitally, these are the parts of it where we trade convenience for getting highway robbered, if you will. Next up, should I go into that? All right, we gonna save the Trump stuff for last because I want to talk about this article that somebody released, and it was saying how based on certain criteria, based on what the minimum wage was and how minimum wage was set to work, that the new actual poverty line is 160,000 based on this calculation that it came up on. Let me find the article and then we go into it. Let me see poverty line analysis. I had went and got it from ChatGPT to condense it because it was very dense. Very dense, was it? Let me see. This it right here. We go find the actual site. Here it goes. So this here is called My Life is a Lie. How broken benchmarks quietly broke America. Okay. So this is within this, it talks about what the new, stuff will be. So we just go to the actual synopsis of it through the good old ChatGPT, me, which has all my information. It would be able to kill me at any time, but I'm trading it in for convenience. So I asked it to read this article, give me all the highlights of it as if it was a 60 Minutes correspondent. So in this paper, they argue that the official U.S. poverty line is still widely used to assess who's poor, the one that we're currently using is deeply outdated and grossly underestimates the income required to maintain a minimally decent standard of living. What was meant to be a crisis threshold, a floor below which households struggle to survive, has become misinterpreted as the benchmark for middle class or reasonable living. So basically, back in the day, the poverty threshold was if you was below the poverty, like you couldn't eat, like you was worried about housing, food, clothing, and shelter type stuff. And he is saying that over time, that the metrics that determine it, since they have not been updated, that the poverty line has now been mistaken for middle class or reasonable living, which the way stuff is increasing is I'm likely to agree with what they're saying, but we go with it, and then we go talk about the middle class. Why the poverty line is broken, okay? It says the origin of the poverty line is a food-based benchmark from 1963. It says the poverty threshold was originally defined in the 1960s by Molly Orshansky, who observed that families at the bottom spent roughly 1/3 of their income on food, so she multiplied the minimum adequate food budget by 3 to define what's too little. At the time, housing, healthcare, and children costs were relatively low, and many families could survive on one income. And then also, we have to take into account women being introduced to the workforce, which was, I'm gonna be honest, that was another capitalistic, super, not scam, but it was good for them because they were able to create whole new markets. When women go to the workforce, guess what was needed? Childcare. And that's why childcare is so insanely expensive, because it's a super necessity, right? But back then, a family could live on one income, because not only was everything relatively low, but people weren't paying $4,000-$5,000 for childcare. I remember when my kids was in daycare back in from between 06 to 08, if it wasn't for how we get in, it was some program that paid for the majority of it, but to be in the high price one, if we didn't have that program with the voucher was $150 a week. With the voucher, $150 a week, that was still $600 a month. No, it was $300 a month with the voucher. Without the voucher, it would have been like $900 a month, $1,200 a month. Our rent was that much. So back then, you could, because you had somebody at home to watch the kids. Y'all had 2-3 kids. That's all that stay in there. Everything was relatively low price wise for the most part. When you actually do inflation calculators and stuff, certain stuff was the same price, but that's something different. Let's continue. But it says, at the time, housing, healthcare, child costs were relatively low. Many families could survive on one income. Dramatic changes in living costs and spending composition. Over decades, prices and structure of basic needs changed drastically. Housing, healthcare, childcare, transportation now claim a much larger proportion of family budgets. Food, which was used to dominate expenses, is now a small fraction, about 5 to 7% of the typical household spending. This is based on this dude's paper. This is not no peer review stuff. This is just to give us conversation based on his stuff. Matter of fact, we go fact check this in a minute, but we go continue through. Meanwhile, essentials like housing can take up 35 to 45% income. Healthcare is 15 to 25%, and childcare, where applicable, is 20 to 40%. And it is like, which is crazy when you are trying to qualify to buy a house. They say it should be no more than 28% of your income gross, which is insane to me. Why are you doing gross when taxes go eat up a nice chunk of that? It should be net, but that's how rent places, when you go to rent apartments and stuff, they want to go by your gross, which is real jacked up. But 28% is like the sweet spot, right? The highest that you can go. The lower it is, the better. But I know for a fact people that are spending 35% of their, not gross, net net on their housing and stuff, and childcare is killing them. And this ain't even including student loans, because a lot of people that make a lot of money got a lot in student loans as well. So let's continue. If you update Orshansky's model to reflect 2024 costs, the real poverty line jumps dramatically. Green estimates a basic needs budget for a family of 4, 2 earners and 2 kids, housing, childcare, food, transportation, healthcare, and other essentials, plus taxes, come to a gross required income of around $136,500. That means the real threshold for mere financial survival in 2024 is roughly $130,000 to $150,000, assuming a national average cost living for many families, especially in more expensive regions of high zip code codes. The required income may be a little bit higher. And I know that number probably sound a little crazy, but we got to look at taxes, right? I'm assuming that they are talking about gross before taxes. If the couple is married and they file jointly, they save a nice chunk on taxes. But if not, they are paying a good chunk. So that 136 might not even be 100,000 out the taxes and stuff. And if they are spending 30%, 40% on their house, and then got 2 kids that are in daycare and got student loans and stuff, you really ain't got much to kick it on. Middle class or whatever is just being able to at least take maybe one vacation, a family vacation a year or two, not have to worry about eating out once a week or something like that. But that is slowly disappearing. The middle class don't exist though. Either you working or you live off your assets. It's either capital class or working class. But that's for another day. For many families, especially in more, okay, we read this stuff. The consequences, what this broken benchmark means. It means the middle class illusion. Many families earning what we call middle class income are just actually working poor. Under official stats, a family earning a medium U.S. household income, roughly $80,000, is well above poverty. I thought the median household was like 60,000, 60 or 50. But under the updated basic needs math, that 80,000 household is far below what's needed to get by. The valley of death. Income increases can far worsen financial security. As families earn more, say from 40,000 to 100,000, they often lose access to means-tested benefits, Medicaid, child subsidies, and their other expenses, childcare, housing, and he is not lying. Them vouchers that I was able to get, I think it was Medicare or something like that, Medicaid or whatever, the WIC and all that stuff. And people try to, now don't get it twisted. We didn't have money. That's how we was able to qualify for them things, because they want you to really be broke. Like, you really got to have nothing. On the other side, we had a good village though, so we got to stay with our parents, and they had, my mom's had more than enough room and stuff like that, so we were able to save money in other ways. But we was working still though. It wasn't like we was welfare queens or nothing like that. However, soon as I started making a little money, I think I had got up to like 40,000 a year. This is back in the late 2000s, 40 or 50. We couldn't qualify for none of those programs no more. And all of the stuff that we were using the programs for cost so much that after taxes and stuff like that, we had just a smidge more money than we did when we was super poor, not making that much money. And on the programs, I'm talking about, it was like maybe a $700, $1,000 difference, because we ended up moving out. I ended up moving out and get my own place. So after that, it was like maybe a $600, maybe $1,000 difference between when I was destitute. And that's a nice chunk of change, but still though, like, my cost of everything went up. In many cases, family ended up worse off than when they earned less, because the benefits vanish faster than the earnings rises. I seen it. Green calls the structural trap the valley of death. Economic fragility and phase change risk. Falling below the updated threshold is not just a small setback, it's a destabilizing event comparable to phase change like water freezing. Once you slip under, returning is disappropriately hard. That is a good, just imagine you are drowning, but you know how to swim a little bit and you swimming and then the water freeze while you up under and now you can't get back on top. That's what's happening right now with a lot of people that was doing all right. One layoff, most people is 2-3 paychecks from being asked out. You talking to one of them people. Families that lose stability through job loss, illness, or debt often become economically inert, barred from prime rental markets, credit, stable employment, effects lasting many years. The buffer effectively keeping many afloat is thin. A small shock, car repair, medical emergency can push a family from just getting by to ruin. Broader implications, what this means for how we interpret the U.S. economy and policy. Official poverty statistics massively understate the number of Americans living without economic security. Many middle-class households are misclassified. Economic stress, wage stagnation, and inequality are worse than standard stats suggest, because they be lying. They be lying about unemployment. Trump go and lie all day. He say the economy is great and everybody doing good and prices is low on everything. Blatant lies. And a lot of people that think they middle class are not. When you look, if you Google what middle class is, the range will be from you make $60,000 a year to $150,000 a year. What? That? Because it's not real. Middle class is not a real thing. That's why they just throw any type of numbers out there. And then you can talk to certain people, make $250, and they're like, yeah, I'm middle class. But they looking at how much money they got left over after all their expenses and stuff, and they don't feel rich no more because lifestyle creep and a whole bunch of other stuff. And guess what? It be a lot of 250, 300,000 makers, one paycheck away from being wiped out. Let's continue. Economic narratives that celebrate rising median incomes or declines in poverty rate miss a deeper structural reality. The cost of participating in modern life has soared. This is very important. The cost of participating in modern life. I dated somebody that followed Dave Ramsey. Okay, I'm talking about she followed this thing to the T. Her savings account was crazy. Like, she had hella money. She not only turned off the lights when she left the house. She not only turned off the lights when she left the house. She unplugged every appliance outside of her refrigerator when she left the house. I'm talking about the lamps, everything. If she didn't do, I'm talking about. She shopped at Aldi's and ate like the lowest. She was eating ramen like the lowest amount. Okay. But she did have a lot of money. I think her dating me taught her some stuff because she was like living like she was destitute, but she made real good money. She did save a lot of money. It did work, but she, in my opinion, wasn't living the modern standard of, like, to me, she wasn't enjoying life. I think after she chilled with me and stuff, I was like, you can't take it with you, and this and third. I think she started spending some more money, but that part about participating in modern life has soared. Now just going outside is $200-$300. And when I say go outside, I mean like going outside. Let's continue. Technically, I mean, you go outside if you want to hang with your friends, go somewhere. Everything done went crazy. Gas is $2.90 is crazy. Okay, I remember when gas was 99 cents. Fast food is crazy now. You might as well go to Chili's. Chili's got a lunch special for $11.99. You paying $12-$15 for combos at Burger King and McDonald's. To feed my whole family at Burger King now is $47. All right. I remember you could feed your whole family for under $20. Taco Bell. I went to Taco Bell by myself and spent $20. Now, I am a fat ass. But let's disregard me getting Mexican pizzas, 2 chalupas, 3 regular tacos, and the side of nachos. Back in the day, I could have got that same order for $10, $11. I spent $23. So just going outside on some regular how we used to live just 20 years ago is a wrap for that. You really got to be balling out of control. Let's go back. Policy-based or outdated benchmarks, housing subsidies, wage floors, cost of living adjustments, and welfare thresholds may be fundamentally miscalibrated. Then it said I can generate 15 charts and data tables that approximate the author's real poverty line. So ChatGPT went out and got some data. Okay. And this is the approximate real poverty line by Metro for a family of 4 working, I don't know what this is, say family of 4 working, I can expand it, of 4 working adults. Okay. So it says the national is $32 an hour per adult. And I don't know, this is where ChatGPT be. We ain't gonna go through all that and stuff. And anyway, the whole point of that was kind of a lead into when we about to get into the whole Trump situation and stuff, because as I was stating before, we are back under Reaganomics, which, to be honest, Reaganomics never stopped. Okay, the trickle down economics was always just the rich get richer and the poor get poorer type situation. Deregulation has always been bad for the public, because once you privatize things and deregulate things, they gave rise to monopolies. We now have real life monopolies again. Believe it or not, Amazon is kind of, technically it's a monopoly, but it ain't. You can order stuff from online from other places and stuff, but they got rid of so many small sellers. Like how they took over the book market is very insane. They put all them book markets out of online bookstores out of business, and a lot of regular retailers. Y'all remember Borders? I believe they shut down. The only reason that Barnes & Noble survived because they was able to understand the market segment of people that just want to come drink some coffee and just be in a nice relaxing place and read some books. They basically kind of turned it to a library, and that's how they survived. But for the most part, most bookstores and stuff, unless it's half price books, got wiped out. Amazon is buying up all this stuff, and they technically kind of a monopoly, but they ain't, but they are. Same thing with radio stations. I believe, what is it, Radio One or iHeart or something, they own like 70% of the radio stations, something like that. Universal Music own like 70% of the record labels, and this is all due to deregulation. Actually, Clinton signed it into the digital, what was it, the Millennial Digital Act or something. What act did Clinton, I can't spell, sign for the digital? I think it was in 96, digital age in 96. Let's see. That's what it was. All right. It was the Telecommunications Act of 1996 is what he signed. And it was the first major overhaul of U.S. telecommunication law in over 60 years, modernizing the rules for y'all know the damn word, cable broadcasting, importantly, emerging internet. It opened up markets to competition, remove legacy stuff. All right, so I'm going to ask, how did it give way to monopoly? So, let's see if it give me the information I need to do. So the radio ownership caps were lifted. Okay. And this is because I think it was Landers I forgot, but it was a car dealership in Arkansas that owned some radio stations or wanted to own some radio stations or something. It was some good old boys back dealing and stuff while this was a part of it. Before 1996, strict limits prevented one company from owning too many radio stations nationally or too many within a single market. The act removed the national ownership cap completely and drastically loosened local caps. And this thing was called the Telecommunications Act of 1996. It don't sound bad, but bad stuff was in it. The result, companies with big capital reserves went on the buying sprees, the most aggressive of all Clear Channel Communications, which would later become iHeartMedia. From fewer than 40 stations pre-1996, they owned 1,200 stations in just a few years. This is consolidation from the act. All right. And that's also what happened when the interest rates went down. A lot of people in 2020, 2021, blah, 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 that was the prime time for you to buy a house. But the prices of houses went up because the interest rates were so low that sideline money, BlackRock, and people that just got hella money in reserves was able to buy up all the single family homes because that was cheap money for them, and they could come with crazy down payments outbidding other people, and didn't care how much the house was. They'd be like, oh, the house worth $150. They cool with saying, oh, well, we get $300,000 because the interest rate 2.5 or 2.0 for some people. And since they got so much capital and stuff, and they go rent it out and make the money back from it, they was pricing out the regular person. And sadly, once prices hit a certain level for certain stuff, they don't go back down. Same thing with this radio station, because they making this a nation of renters. The statistics say, I believe, like 45% of people are homeowners, and of them, like 25 or 30% actually own their houses, but not really because property tax. Any damn way. But same thing with the real estate companies. It's happening with them as we speak. As you heard, he about to cut the rates. But if it is high inflation, to balance it out, you need to lift inflation rates. Lift interest rates, right? So that it can make inflation go down because money get more expensive and blah, 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 blah. But they want to lower the rate so rich people can come up and buy everything, even though the price is elevated, so the regular person can't get it. Continue. Vertical and horizon integration became easy. The act allowed corporations to own multiple types of media within the same demographic market: radio, TV, cable systems, newspapers, digital platforms. And deregulation encouraged too big to challenge scale. Bigger companies got bigger, and bigger companies got better advertising rates, could syndicate shows cheaply, and everything centralized. Okay, and iHeartRadio is like one of the biggest benefactors of this, and that's what's happening in the Trump world right now. So let's get into Trump. First thing we gonna talk about with the Trump is just how it's crazy how we have an administration where this dude is talking like it's wrestling. He talking to people like this is legit WWE, and it's crazy how many different clips I could find. And it was just a new clip that just dropped of Trump talking crazy to somebody. But let's look at some of these other clips that I got. Okay, this was the one where he called Lil Mama stupid, and to me this was just insane. Now, a lot of people was like, why the dudes in the back ain't say nothing? Because they don't want to lose their jobs. All right? They not gonna lose their jobs in that whole journalism. If you ain't never seen Anchorman or something like that, I'm looking at the right camera. If you ain't ever seen Anchorman or something like that, it's cutthroat in the media to get in them rooms and stuff like that, so they not about to sit there and stand up for nobody, whether they dudes, other women. Nobody's gonna say nothing. And you see how she just took it? She didn't be like, hey, da-da-da, because that's just kind of how it is. However, it shouldn't be like that. We should not have our government officials talking to their the people that they work for. Like, their whole job is really to serve the public, right? But it's not what we have anymore, because the administration's job in here is to serve themselves. So let's continue. And this is a language of somebody who don't know what the hell they talking about. Even just the verbiage he is using, and then somebody who don't know what they're talking about goes directly to insults. It's quite obvious. And I watched that whole clip because it showed her face during this whole thing, and it stonewalled. I wanted to see if her eyes was gonna get watery, but no, she was blinking and everything. She didn't keep them all open the whole way, so the tears don't drop. Because I think they, trained. She probably did cry when she got in the car, but we should not have officials talking to the people like that. I believe this is another video where he is disrespectful. And we're going to get into some other, what this is giving us a clue in what we are about to face in the next 4 years. Let's see, what is this? Is this it? Oh, this is him being dumb about how the insurance companies work. We'll get into that in a second. Let's see. Here was him most recently talking to an Asian reporter. Check this out. God damn it. Y'all didn't hear none of that, did you? Son of a bitch. Let me get this fixed. I thought I had fixed it. Hold on, y'all. That is my bad. Oh, okay, that's where I gotta fix it. And we're gonna listen to that other one a second ago as well. My bad on that. See right here. So this was the previous one, if y'all didn't hear it.
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person.
Your DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration for what this man did?
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane.
Oh, buddy back there, though, his eyebrows went up. Oh, buddy back here.
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they...
Hey, my brain. He's like, whoa, that was unexpected. All right. Now, here is the Asian reporter he went in on. Reporter seemingly looked sad after Trump berates her for asking about his health.
What part of your body was the MRI looking at?
I have no idea. It was just an MRI. What part of the body? It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you
too.
Thank you, Mr. President. What?
She didn't look sad to me. She looked pissed off like this punk ass motherfucker. I wish I could slap the shit out of him. And I'm trying not to cuss on this channel, but that's the look of the face she had got. Okay, this look like my wife, mama, and this the face that she used to make with her ex-husband and stuff when he would come in acting stupid. She just looked like I really wish. Or maybe she looks sad. It depends on how you look. To me, she looked kind of pissed off though. But look at, he couldn't, and see, this is a key term. This is a key of narcissistic personality disorder, okay? He had answered the question, but he could not leave without giving the insult. That was the last thing he said.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Goodbye, everybody. You too.
Thank you.
Yes, and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing.
His feelings was hurt. His feelings was hurt because she asked about his health, but he knows his health is not good. So since his health was not good, he projected and went overboard with it and got pissed off at her for even questioning it, and then gave her the insult, which is some BS. Then we also have this other footage I think I got. Let's see. Where he called Lil Mama Piggy. Oh, I forgot all about that. Then he called Lil Mama ugly on his Truth Social thing. He said, let's see. Where is it? First Piggy, now ugly. Trump continues to attack female reporters. Trump's post to Truth Social. I hope this don't give it a hit. I done sullied my damn computer with Truth Social and shit. My bad, you guys. My bad on myself. The creeps at the failing New York Times are at it again. I won 2024 president election in a landslide, winning all 7 swing states, the popular vote, and the electoral college by a lot. Do you hear these terms, by a lot? This literally sounds like a sixth grader wrote this. I won our national districts by 2,750 to 550, a complete wipeout. I settled 8 wars. You are lying. I have 48 new stock market highs. That's not because of you. Our economy is great. It is not. And our country is respected again. I'm talking about we are the laughing. We already was like Americans, dude. People want to come here and stuff. But if you talk to intellectuals overseas and stuff, we are very lowbrow to intellectuals overseas and have been for a very long time and stuff. The average person overseas do want to come because they believe the propaganda. But we are not respected like what he's saying. All over the world, respected like never before. See how he doubled down on it? Because he knows it's some bullshittery. The last administration had the highest inflation in history. You literally caused our inflation that we have right now single-handedly. Like, you got in the office and inflation skyrocketed. I have already brought that down to normal, and prices, including groceries, are coming down. I went to go get a steak the other day. I used to be able to get some ribeye steaks, like a pound of ribeye. It would be like maybe $7 a pound. It is now $17 a pound, and that ain't even for the organic kind. And the one until you got in this bitch. They did go up a little bit last year, but to do this requires a lot of work and energy. You don't work, and you don't have energy. We got proof. And I have never worked so hard in my life. You have never worked in your life. Despite all of this, the radical left lunatics, now I will give him this. He be coming up with some catchy terms. Like when he said that Kung Flu, that was crazy. And he come up with very easy, this is what preachers do. This is what good lawyers do. They come up with jingles for their opposition that their followers who don't know any deeper levels or don't do any can just spout this out online. So people can call people RLLs or radical left lunatics, but that's just good. That's just good talk, good marketing. One thing you can say, he do know how to market stuff. In the soon-to-fold New York Times did a hit piece on me that I'm perhaps losing my energy despite facts that show the opposite. Yeah. They know this is wrong, as almost everything that they write about me, including election results, all purposefully negative because you are negative. this cheap rag is truly an enemy of the people. You are the enemy of the people. I'm talking about, it really hurts my brain reading this because of the blatant falsehoods in this. Like, I'm talking about lies. The writer of the story, Katie Rogers, who's assigned to write only bad things about me, is a third-rate reporter who is ugly, both inside and out. It's not funny, but it's kind of, it's funny just because this is like some 7th grade stuff. He talked like a 6th grader. This is Drake stuff. Why are you calling somebody ugly on the inside and out? This is to hurt her feelings. This is to make it personal. This is not professional on any level, and this is not presidential on any level. Now check this out. Despite all of this, I had the highest poll numbers. That's a lie. Ever, they went down. Matter of fact, let's check this right now. Trump poll numbers. This is from Gallup News 6 days ago. Approval ratings dropped to 36%. New second term low. And with record-setting investment being made in America, they are not investing in America. You got people paying 100 racks to skip the immigration line and stuff. Your pockets getting lined. They are quote unquote investing in you. You are setting up shell companies, all sorts of stuff to benefit from all the, basically taking bribes from other countries. They should only go up. There will be a day when I run low on energy. It happens to everyone, but with a perfect physical exam and a comprehensive cognitive test that was aced, which further lets you know that he be reading scripts. Just recently taken. It certainly is not now. God bless America. He sound like Nicki Minaj. This sound like Nicki Minaj on some real stuff. Now, I think y'all, let's see if I can find the one where he called to the piggy so we just can hear the audio. Here you go, right here. See, and he a criminal. All right, he's a that's a felon. So he is breaking all the snitching laws, because every time they bring up Epstein, he bring up everybody else. He has outed so many other people on the Epstein list that it is known that he was cool with. Okay, I'm gonna show you just how cool he was with the main person. Let's continue that he keep bringing up, which is Clinton.
All of the other people that he spent time with, Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years. But he also saw strife because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan shares. Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
In the file, Venezuela, sir.
Quiet.
I don't know if y'all ever seen the show BoJack Horseman. Okay, if you've never seen the show BoJack Horseman, it's about this horse that was famous on TV back in the 80s. Okay, and he was very insecure. He was a narcissist as well, and his upbringing, whenever they would snap on him, they would call him names, talk bad to him. People think people grow up with a lot of money and stuff be all gravy and everything be great. A lot of times they get talked to like shit. Like their parents be like snapping at them also, and you could tell that it seems like it might not have been his immediate family, but he was raised with people talking crazy to him. So he spits out them same insults to other people. And we saw in the emails about the Epstein files, they be joking, laughing about this dude because they had whole pictures of or video of him allegedly sucking balls. And then this picture dropped. This is not Photoshop. This is a real actual picture from back in the day of I don't know if it was a freeze frame, but since it's Trump, I'm not gonna give no benefits of the doubt and say he looks like he was grabbing cock and balls, and later on possibly put him in jaws. But that was just based off the emails, allegedly. I'm going by what the email said, and Putin might have the proof in the pudding. Now, I bring all that up to say this administration is the craziest administration I've ever seen in my life. The most backstabbery, the most talking crazy about each other stuff I've ever seen. Check this out. This is what he said about his boy. I think it was JD Vance, who these are the most two-faced people as well. The last person that ran with him, his vice president from last time, turned against him. Then JD Vance was against him, but then started sucking balls. Then the head of the FBI was like, yo, we need the Epstein list, He pulled him up under his wing. Now he is also a ball sucker. I don't think that term is good for this channel. I'm gonna change the terms. That's not where I'm trying to go with this, but it is accurate. This is what he had to say about the damn JD Vance and stuff, who they put us to be respecting and stuff.
Over the fraud scandal, Tim Walz, over the fraud scandal in the States.
Look, I think the man's a grossly incompetent man. I thought that from the day I watched JD destroy him in the debate. I was saying, who was more incompetent, that man or my man? I had a man and he had a man. They were both incompetent, and I had a man and a woman. I thought she was very incompetent too, but now she's leading the field. And
he just literally, he just shit on the people that are under him. He said that he thought they were incompetent before, but still pulled them up under him, and then tells everybody he thought they was incompetent, but it's all right now since they work under me. This is administration we got. They ain't even friends with each other. They don't even like each other. That other racist broad that was a ball sucker, I gotta find a better, that was a Trumpster that was saying crazy stuff, left. Now she is trying to rebrand herself so she can run from some other office, which I'm pretty sure they go blackball her from in some sort of way if they ain't already did it. But he is so messed up that he turns people that's for him against him, and they'll still talk crazy to them when he get them on the team. It's pure narcissism. I'm talking about, I ain't seen this level of narcissism since I looked at myself in the mirror. It is crazy. All right. Now, remember when he said that he got all this energy and stuff? Let's check this out. This is him at a cabinet meeting recently.
And Korea, they offer us $750 billion in cash to build in America.
Over a fence line dispute that had been in their family for 130 years. We fixed that. The Henry family in New Jersey.
Investments, and we're seeing more and more of that, where we also rescinded the supplemental statement that discouraged the fiduciaries.
California, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maryland, I could go on. What happened in those states?
Well, many of whom were let in across our borders under the previous administration. We are focused on these tasks and this imperative for the American people, and just appreciate your leadership, Mr. President.
Key Supreme Court decisions like Loper-Bright overturned the Chevron doctrine. We inherited massive backlogs.
And that means that American patients at the point of care
will be able to get an answer immediately. If your doctor says you need knee surgery, you will know before you leave that doctor's office. You would have to spend maybe 45 minutes filling out forms on a clipboard with regulations that were going to destroy the nursing home industry in those communities. And that is going to be a $25 billion savings. Those are some of the things that we're doing because of your leadership.
Or Cambodia and Thailand. And so on all these things, Mr. President, I think you deserve tremendous credit for the transformational aspect of our foreign policy.
Energy, huh? And what's crazy is, what's his nickname for Biden? Sleepy Joe? Now, don't get twisted. Biden was, he was Weekend at Bernie's. He not go dispute that at all. Know how they had him propped up. I still remember he fell off that bike. I think he fell off of just standing up one time. It was crazy. But this is the exact same thing. You are Sleepy McGruff. I can't think of no other names. And what's really crazy, on top of that, is if your energy is not off or whatever, you are given, let's see if I can find a good video of this, because I done seen this before. This is given like this is what it's given right here.
You alright, boss? Sir, naćpany jesteś mocno? Ile żeś poćpał? Kilka bags? How many bags did you do? Yeah.
So if you got energy, like you claim, you passed everything with high colors, this is fentanyl not. It's the only thing I can think it is. If your test came back 100%, you did some of that Fenty and then wanted to go to the damn cabinet meeting. Nod off, wake up. This was me in 8th grade algebra. I didn't care about no damn algebra. He don't care about running the damn government. He just want the title of president, and that's it. And that's who we got in the office. He just want to talk crazy about folks and just do whatever he wants to. And this is where we at in this world. It was one more thing I believe I did want to touch on before I got out this piece. What time it's 1? Oh, okay, I did good. I stayed on my 2 hours. This is also how crazy he is talking out here just about other countries and other nationalities in here, which is just very, once again, non-presidential. Is and racist and bigoted. Let's check it out.
Tirade of insults at people from Somalia yesterday that critics say is bigoted. During a cabinet meeting, Trump described immigrants from Somalia as garbage and more.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. We don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
Trump's comments yesterday came as he's also threatened to end temporary protected status for Somali immigrants in Minnesota. This is NPR.
Which they cut off the funding for NPR, if you did not know that. So if you got some type of way to donate whenever they donate, I bought this PBS shirt because they cut off the funding for public broadcasting as well, and I bought this off the website. So it was a pretty good price. It wasn't too expensive. I think it was $16-17, but I was raised off of PBS programming. And NPR has pretty impartial news and just gives facts. and they have good Tiny Disc concerts, so you can check that out. But we have a openly bigoted, openly racist, openly xenophobic president, and the people that voted for him, majority voted due to them agreeing with those stances. I have met some people that don't agree with those stances and just picked because they were tricked into believing that nothing being done for them is worse than things being taken away from them. Okay. And when I say nothing being done from them, just on a, go out there and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that type of thing, which is on the fault of the Democratic Party, I must say. However, I hate using them terms because I'm not both sides. There are differences in size, but at the same time, it's kind of like a shrimp, right? You can eat butterfly shrimp, and one side is different than the other, but it still got that ingestion tract right through it, right? But it is two different sides. Anyway, it's sad what we about to go through. Everything that we talked about earlier, the 160,000 being the new poverty line, is gonna be insane, and inflation would cause something like that. It is being floated around that within the next 10 to 15 years, the US dollar will be as valuable as the Egyptian dollar. If you ever been to Egypt, they don't take their own money. They take euros. I didn't know that. I took my ass over there and converted some money to some Egyptian dollars, and I forgot what they was called. My homegirl told me not to do it. I tried to pay for a cab ride with the Egypt. He looked like he was to slap the hell out of me. I had to go back and give me some damn euros and stuff. That's what's gonna happen to the dollar. And apparently this process is supposed to be going through Bitcoin and some other things and stuff, which I will be talking about on this channel. I'm gonna have some research on that and see how this gonna work out. And when they do that, 401ks, anything that is cash backed or whatever, will be affected. And it's gonna be a rough time for us, but make sure you join me here where we will talk about these things and maybe find, helpful tips or solutions to make a change. Gotta be honest, I'm a nihilist, so I don't believe that's gonna happen, but I'm cool with talking about it, even though I don't believe positive change is gonna happen in real life. All right. Thank you for joining me. I'm about to go into chat mode to chop it up with you guys. So stick around if you want to be in chat mode. I'm gonna read this. This channel did get demonetized, so I got to get 4,000 watch hours within the next, I think, 6,000 months. We are currently at 546 watch hours, so I'm gonna try to do this show regularly every day. If not, it's gonna be like a every other day type of stuff, and I will be chopping up lives, and just in case you missed the live. And then once I get monetized again, I'm gonna start my membership, and most lives are gonna be under there, but everything gonna get chopped up and put over here. But there will be like open lives as well, but there will be membership only lives over here. So I just want to put that out there. I worked real hard on this intro, so if you want to stick around for me to go through the chat, please stick around. But I got to do my outro situation because I worked real hard to make it sound good. I don't got no outro and stuff, so stick around for the oh snap. You know what, y'all? I almost messed up real bad because I had it programmed to when I press this button, it was actually going to stop the stream. And I'm glad I caught it before that happened. Let me take that off, and then I guess it could stop recording. I don't need no recordings. Well, maybe I do. We'll keep it recording. All right, here go the outro. Then I'm gonna go to the damn chat mode. Chat mode gonna be ugly, so I still gotta work on it. Thanks for joining me for What's the Business, and make sure throughout your day and time in life, you don't just go with what is being told to you. You ask, what's the business? It's a work in progress. It's gonna get better. I'll see y'all in a minute. Peace out. Oh, okay. So I didn't end the stream like I thought I did. I thought I had ended it, but I didn't. All right, let me make sure I got this good chat stuff working, and we can go through old chat, see who was in the house. Let me see if y'all messages pop up. All right, so we got that right there. And then these is the messages which got erased. Son of a bitch. But I do got the chat pop up. All right, so we got that. And oh, I got this chat over here. Okay, so let's see who off in here. Allegedly Elise. What's the business? Allegedly Elise. How can I make the chat pop up on the screen? Here we go, right here. This is it right here. This was the actual chat. But this the fake chat. This ain't the real chat right here. L Biddy, thank you. I appreciate you for coming through. Thank y'all for hanging out with me and stuff as I try to get this channel up and going. And hopefully we can get educational talks and each one teach one over here. That's why I'm going through the chat, because just in case I got some information wrong. But y'all know I'm gonna be Googling and chat GPTing and looking for sources for everything around here, because it is a lot of stuff that I feel that get put out there to trick us out of a lot of stuff. And then it's a lot of stuff where they sensationalize it, in my opinion. They sensationalize a lot of stuff and cause people to dig a hole for themselves and stuff. Same thing with that organic food. It was something else I had read about organic food, which, like I said, there are benefits to it. You do want certain stuff grown a certain way, but I believe they patented what is this up here? Something else that's up there. I see. I need to get rid of that. It was something else that they patented. That's it right there. Where they patented seeds or something like that. And so now with that being the case, it's most of the seeds that we get, even on our own, are genetically modified or whatever. And then whatever fruit bears that came from that source, so it changed. Genetic modification of food ain't inherently bad though. I done did research about it. It's kind of like sucralose, right? With sugar, it don't give you, it'll still spike your insulin and stuff because it tastes sweet and our bodies react to a lot of other stuff, but as far as high as actual sugar, it won't, right? And like, it's kind of like a lot of GMO stuff is kind of just like lab grown diamonds. Okay, it's just stuff moved around that's still natural, ain't nothing added into it. And when I say a lot, some, it's just we take what already exists and take some away, put some in, blah 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 blah, right? So that's something I really want people to learn, because the thing is, man, I don't understand how long people want to live. People be like, oh, they trying to kill folks. Look, the average age 150 years ago was like, what, 40, 50 or something like that. That was old back in the day. And we got all this technology, people living longer. So, but a lot of people are sacrificing stuff that they enjoy because they actually think that they go, that is gonna really make them live longer. Now, healthier quality of life is important, but I want to have those types of discussions so people just don't blatantly just, they can make informed decisions about stuff, is what I'm trying to say, y'all. And it's gonna sound very radical and crazy what I'm saying initially, but that's what this is, so us we could do research and stuff. Why the hell this is real big? Like I said, I'm still trying to work this out to make stuff not be ugly. Let's see. All right, so and then we go change the width of this to, we'll say 1100. There we go. That's not too bad. And then I'm gonna start reading y'all stuff again. And I'm gonna try not to talk as much and just read the shit. Still working on it. All right, we got this. And then Steve 104, all them fake. That's a fake. So I don't know how to make this right. I'm still learning this shit, y'all. Oh, I gotta come over here and do this. Here and erase them messages. Oh shit, but if I clear all, I won't see these. So never mind. I'ma just clear this box over here. We'll just be over there for right now. Furby Productions in the house. What's the business? Well, I clicked on the message and it disappeared, so I don't know what to say about that. This was back when y'all couldn't hear it. Okay. Wrestling is the best way to describe him. 100%. It is 100%. Let's see. I didn't struggle for that long though, in this case. And I ain't even see y'all complaining about it, but I appreciate y'all complaining about it for real though. But I took my Vyvanse today. Poison Ivy said a doctor was saying this more violent outburst could be a sign of dementia. Yo, when my mom had cancer, it metastasized, y'all know the damn word, it spread to her brain. But we didn't know it spread to her brain. And I thought she had dementia because I'm talking about the girl I was dating at the time. She cussed her smooth out. And she was just going off on everybody crazy. And we thought she was having dementia. And I was like, yo, Ma, I think you got dementia. She was like, I ain't got no damn dementia. She was crazy. We went and did a scan. And it was like, hairs popped up on my damn mouth. They did the scan of her brain. It's like popcorn. Tumors all over her brain, and it was so every day she would be different because it got affected. So might be dementia. If it was cancer, I think they would tell us, but they didn't tell us what the hell was going on with Biden, so I doubt they would tell us what the hell going on with him. He's unable to control his exactly, because he be trying, but he can't. He really can't. And really, he done reached a level to where he really don't have to. Like, he don't have to control it and stuff. Getting up there, he had to do it, which was hard for him to do. But now he just gets to take the whole thing off. Like, yep, I don't care. What are you guys gonna do? There's nothing you can do now. But it's scary that people use the word narcissism and don't really understand it. They don't look at clinical in narcissistic personality disorder and see he is a classic case of it. And people just think, people don't really understand narcissism and what it is and how a person with it really acts. They think just cheating on somebody, oh, narcissist. No, they just horny and is not a loyal person. What we see with him is narcissism. I wouldn't want to cry because I know the world is embarrassed by him, so he's no longer someone who could really make an impact on my life. And yes, yeah, allegedly at least. I'm glad she stayed strong on it too, because he is sad. He a very insecure, sad little man on the inside on some real stuff. Like, you could tell. That's why I don't know if y'all watch South Park, but they always have him naked. And he always got a micro penis, and they captured him so beautifully in that on what I really think his real life is and his anatomy is. He acts like it. He really does act like it. It's sad and scary. Let me see. How do okay, I stretch that out like that. All right, let's see. It'd be different if it was somebody else. Even a Bush would impact me more. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Bush Jr. Because you remember that time they threw that shoe at old buddy. Bush Jr. really. Trump come off stupid and he mask it with anger and stuff and insults. Bush never really tried to mask his non-knowledgement. But Bush is funny because I've watched interviews with him post his presidency, and he has said very insightful stuff. And I was like, where the hell was this at when you was in the damn office and stuff? Which leads me to believe that he just was there to do stuff, just to run the script that his daddy had wrote down and whoever else in the back, which, to be honest, that's for the most part the majority of their job is to run the script. They got power and they can affect stuff, but when you really go affect some stuff. If you ain't signed to, because the biggest thing when I knew this, it locked me in that every president got something that they have to do. That 1996 Information Act, Digital Information Act and stuff. No, it was another one signed in 2002. But then when Obama did the bailout with the banks and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, that's what he got to do. Because he had a bunch of great stuff that they don't talk about out loud. And he talked about this since then. He was like, yo, it's certain stuff I did. I couldn't even really be loud about it because it would have got shot down and stuff. And he did do a lot of good stuff. And other presidents did good stuff too. But they do equally messed up stuff for the corporations and stuff. And that's just how it goes. Right now, we in the timeline of Reagan, the 80s part 2 and stuff. And sadly for everybody, unfortunately, the drug that's out on the streets now is fentanyl, which don't sound good, don't sound fun. At least in the 80s they had crack. And I know the images that they put out of crack and stuff, and crack affected some people close to my family as well. However, when I talked to them about it, they did have a good time before their life was ruined exponentially. But in the beginning, they said it was great. And they said there's no feeling like it ever. I ain't heard nobody have nothing good to say about fentanyl. Trump got the worst. Got Reaganomics without any real good escape and stuff. Ain't nobody building the Taj Mahal for the fentanyl. If you seen Jungle Fever, you know what the Taj Mahal is. You can't even get a haircut to represent what drug you doing. Ain't no shape for it. You can't be a crackhead. Now I won't lie. You call me a piggy, and I may say, thanks, hog. I ain't gonna front. I'm trying to really think. Because we all say what we gonna do in certain situations, but we got to think about it like this, especially a woman. Ain't no telling how much money that woman make, but I'm assuming she makes a very good living. And let's say she got children, and let's say she got a 7-year-old, a 10-year-old, and 2 college kids. Like we was just saying earlier, especially with everything raising in price, most people are 2, 3, 4 checks away, or they might not be 2, 3, 4 checks away, but they gonna have to sell an asset that will be passed down to their children one day, or might have to borrow against their 401k or something like that. When you got kids and stuff, sometimes you just gotta swallow your pride and stuff. Same thing with them dudes that didn't defend her. People was talking like them dudes like it was at a McDonald's or something, and a dude came in and was like, hey, you dirty bitch, you need to do X, Y, and then none of the dudes, he Trump, but he is the president, and their career be gone just like that, sadly. And they probably wouldn't even be able to sue because all of the janky judges he got up in there. Boys Navi says it's like he doesn't have one single mirror in the White House. That's pure narcissism. Pure narcissism. He look good no matter what. That's what people don't understand. It's 2 parts of you got malignant narcissists, then you got covert narcissists, then you got there are narcissists that have low self-esteem, but then there are narcissists that might have low self-esteem on one end about something, but and when I say low self-esteem, just how they feel about themselves, they may feel inadequate. But Trump is at the point he think he look good. I can tell with how he walk around and stuff like that. And he built like a troll. But, it is what it is. And even if he did have something on his face, he seemed like the type of person, he had a bug on his nose, he'd wipe it off, knock it off like that, and be like, well, your whole face is a booger, and be mad at you because you trying to help him out. Him saying he made A's on a health screen and shows me his dementia has him in schoolyard age. I'm going to say, if you go and look at old footage of him, he seemed schoolyard age. Like, just how he act. You can tell he's never had to do anything and don't want to do anything. I remember Michael Jackson would want to go grocery shopping. I know y'all done seen that footage. He would put on, he just wanted to do regular people stuff. Trump don't want to do regular people stuff. And the times they had him, quote unquote, doing regular people stuff, it wasn't even real scenarios. They emptied it out and had picked people to come in at McDonald's and stuff. I think he didn't know how to put on the apron or know what the spatula was. Didn't know how fries got cooked. I think he said the fries was on the damn grill. Hey, what's the business, Royce? Royce is in the house. Rainy Feathers said, I used to buy into the stereotype of America. It's unfair. Yo, I had a friend. She was from Germany, and I went and visited her in Germany, and she stayed in Berlin at the time. I was like, Berlin dope in the mug. Y'all got the subway and stuff, everything dope over there. I really enjoyed my time over there, but she really wanted to come to America. 50% of it was for the dude she was in love with, but the other 50%, she just thought America looked real cool. And they really, this is when we was younger. We was in our 20s and stuff, early 20s, mid 20s. And, you know, she thought all of the hood videos was like, she thought the hood was kicking it because everybody would be dancing and on 24s in the trap and stuff. And then she moved to Atlanta, and where she stayed at originally was very close to the trap. And I remember we had a conversation. She was like, yeah, this ain't nothing like I thought it was. This is very not fun or safe. She was like, it'd be fun sometimes, but it ain't safe. And I was like, yeah, the videos do make it look like it's kicking it, but no, it's mostly that's what a party look like in the hood. But the party only lasts 2-3 hours. You know what I'm saying? And that's like 1 or 2 days out the week. The rest of the week is struggle. And also, it's propaganda that they do to us in America. We think America, we get raised to think America's just the end all be all, and other places is trash or not as good as ours and don't got the freedoms, and communist bad. I spent like 3 months in Vietnam, which is communist, and I experienced everything here over there. I'm talking about one, no difference. No difference. They got statues of what's his name? Mochi. I can't think of it right now, but in that way, other than that, it's the same. Every place I done been outside of America been the exact same. Even Egypt, or places where they got the high terrorist alerts. Now everybody be walking around M16, same thing in Italy and shit, but it's all free. You go where you want to go. You say what you want to say for the most part. You don't know their politics over there anyway to talk bad about nobody. You buy what you want to buy. They act like it's just prisons everywhere. We get raised like America's free and every place is. And now with this was real bad about capitalism and globalism. I remember traveling years ago internationally, and you could go places, and yeah, it was fast food. It'd be McDonald's or, you know, Burger King somewhere else. But then later I done went, you visit places, and it's just like walking around in America, basically, especially in the touristy spots. Wendy's, KFC. Now they be serving alcohol and all sorts of stuff, but it's done kind of got whack traveling, because unless you know somebody and they could take you to, like, you know, the places, it's best to live or know somebody over there and live with them, because just the touristy places ain't even really touristy. It's more of America now with they, like, you know, whatever big attractions. It's sad, but yeah, America has propagandized, I know that ain't a word, but us thinking we the end all be all, and other countries thinking this the best place to be. You can do a lot of stuff over here as far as financially and stuff, and you can, you know, raise your family out of poverty if you can get over here. At least you used to could. However, I didn't really. A lot of people wanted to come over here just for the financial stuff, because just being able to start a business stuff. And I did know some people that lived in real life third world poverty and stuff, and they was telling me we had the same job. And there's one thing I will say, for the same job, that person, he said he was making $9 an hour, which was real balling over there, but that was 1/10 of what the hell I was making. I was like, get the hell out of here. Are you serious? Which is why they go get my job in the next year and a half. Cause they just go outsource the shit I do very fast. Yo, Campbell did a side by side of them talking about Biden falling asleep and them excusing Trump falling asleep, which is so sad. Watching this administration is really watching, what is it called, cronyism in America. How hierarchy, which I'm gonna start when I can get memberships back, we gonna start talking about how they done use hierarchy to control just us in general with religion initially, and then the business, the corporate world and stuff, and everything is set up with this hierarchy and stuff, and how that has programmed to where this type of stuff can occur and stuff. Like, it's real sad. And certain people are opening their eyes, but since we can never forget that meeting where Zuckerberg and Bezos and all of them big corporations went and sucked his balls, brought him gifts like he was sweet baby Jesus or something. So they not go really push certain narratives or certain stuff as wide as they did before. It still get out because of social media and stuff, and they can police it, but they can't. But yeah, it's not getting that whole national as it should. But you see on their social medias and stuff, they pushing it, CNN and all this, showing how he fell asleep. But on social media, it's different from on TV and stuff like that, and it's real sad. Like, we literally are becoming under a dictatorship. This is a fascist regime. A lot of people don't know what fascism is, and they think dictator is they think of the most like movie version of what a dictator is, but they really in here trying to make the executive branch the only branch that really got power. Like, they trying to break the checks and balances system of it to where this guy has supreme rule until they get him out the way and they can get who they really want to be in that position of supreme rule, which the people that really control stuff always gonna be in the shadows. But still though, also he gets his punchlines from his staff. He's definitely Drake. Why isn't Trump busy? Because he don't do stuff. That's another thing that really amazed me, that his poor rural fan base related to him when he has never had to experience anything that they have ever experienced in his entire life. Since he was born, he has never had to go through anything. They pushed him through school. He was just given stuff. I think when he turned 18, his pops gave him like 50 million or some crazy number like that, which he scams. His pops was a scammer. Fred Trump definitely talked to him like trash. They sent him to military school because they didn't want to deal with him. Fred Jr. was supposed to take over the family business, but he didn't want it. Hey. And it's quite obvious. They show us in all of the movies and all the y'all seen Valley Girl and stuff. It was always the richest kids got treated like dirt. It's a documentary on Hulu, which I don't have anymore, but the girl from Punky Brewster, Moonlight Olay or something is her name. It's a really good, interesting documentary where she was a Hollywood kid, so she videotaped her entire life in Hollywood. So it's just her at parties with Leonardo DiCaprio when he was younger, and all of them people. I can't think of the other guy's name, but a lot of them folks off they self was hooked on drugs and stuff like that. And she got voicemails from, I forgot the actor, but he was, y'all know the movie Lean on Me. All them actors was there and stuff, and Corey Feldman, all of them in the thing. And just how she saw that these folks had access to all this money, and some of their parents was taking their money and treating the kids like dirt or pushing them to do the movie stuff, and most of them kids was not happy. And people equate money with happiness, which unfortunately they are setting up society now to make it true. Because I can't say this, when I was growing up, when we were poor, I ain't know we was poor. It was too much free stuff that we could do. And she did have access. My mom made, found ways for us to do stuff. And like most poor kids who got dope parents, you don't even know you poor until you get to school and somebody tell you poor when you realize you got on some Spaldings. And you be like, hold on, wait. Then you don't let them let you try on. I remember my friend let me try on his Reebok pumps. And I was like, oh, this do feel different at the bottom. This is what real cushion. But now stuff is getting up. You can't. My mom could take me to McDonald's as a treat back then or whatever, or take me to. She used to take me to Bonanza every Tuesday. Kids eat free, and that's when I started eating steak and shrimp or whatever. But now, we are really getting to have nots. The McDonald's president, CEO. Let me bring this up. McDonald's 2-tier economy. This is basically them saying the have-nots. This was back in September. This what he said. Was it a video or was it in writing? If it was in writing, I'm trying to find the video because I don't feel like reading no more because my mouth dry. Where are these goddamn shit? Yeah, I'm gonna have to read it, but this is what he said. It says, McDonald's is expanding its value menu. The reason suggests growing trouble in the economy, analysts say. In an interview Tuesday on CNBC, ooh, please let this be the damn interview. That would be so fantastic. Please. Boom. Thank you. That's what he said.
Ray Washburn, and he's Red Lobster. He talked about Chili's and talked about how if it's you can get $1 more at Chili's. I guess that's a higher. It's not a McDonald's. It's thought of as a casual dining or something. So if it's only $1 difference, you might go to Chili's. So you recognize that and move quickly, right?
Yeah, and part of what we also saw was that, particularly with middle and lower income consumers, they're feeling under a lot of pressure right now. I think there's a lot of commentary about what's the state of the economy, how's it doing, and what we see is it's really kind of a two-tier economy. If you're upper income, earning over $100,000, things are good. The stock markets are near all-time highs. You're feeling, quite confident about things. You're seeing international travel. All those barometers of upper income consumers are doing quite well. What we see with middle and lower income consumers is actually a different story. It's that consumers under a lot of pressure. In our industry, traffic for lower income consumers is down double digits. And it's because people are either choosing to skip a meal. So we're seeing breakfast. People are actually skipping breakfast, or they're choosing to just eat at home. And so for our business, which has a significant group of consumers which are in that middle and lower income, we needed to step in with something like what we're doing here.
Do you find Now, did you hear what he said? He said it's a two-tier economy, right? But then what did he do? He grouped middle and lower together because there is no middle. That has always been a trick. It's either you got it or you don't. And to be honest, when he said if you're making over 100K, that used to be true. If you're a single person making 100K in the Midwest, you should still be doing good. Now, if you in LA, New York, or other metropolitan areas, it might be a little tight, but you should be okay. It ain't balling out of control like it was in 2000. But even then, he split it into two. Just people who got actual disposable income and people who do not have disposable income. And when he brings up the $100,000 thing, what? And we better look at this after tax, because I hate how people look at gross. What percentage of Americans make 100K after tax? Thank you, ChatGPT, for letting me know not being able how to spell. It says, good question. It's hard to answer precisely. There aren't public data that reliably show the percentage who make it after tax. That's because a lot of stuff can affect people's taxes. However, what's reported instead of gross pre-cum tax, what's reported instead is gross pre-cum tax, but I can show you what we know about who makes $1,000 before tax, which gives a rough ceiling on after. So it says recent data indicates about 18% of adults make more than $100 a year. For all households, combined incomes of members of a household, around 41 to 42% report income of more. And this is, don't get it twisted, this is households together. This was single people, but this don't mean 41% of all Americans, just 41 to 42% of U.S. households with all the members in the house. Okay. Why after taxes hard to pin down? I know why it's hard. It don't matter. But it implies that because only 18% of individuals earn $100,000 before tax, the percentage of individuals making $100,000 take home after taxes is most certainly significantly lower than 1,800. For households, while 41 to 42% earn $100,000 pre-tax, their shares takes the share that takes home 100 after is lower and probably a minority. If you like, I can pull up recent estimates that approximate the share of who. Yeah, let's do estimate for 2025. B. So 23 adults, what it takes after taxes. That federal income tax rate is estimated to be 16.9. And I'm assuming that's average. Depending on the state taxes, and I live in a state, Texas don't have state taxes, Florida don't have state taxes, but the property taxes make up for that 1,000%. So it ain't no such thing as a free ride out of taxes. You go get taxed either federally, state-wise, one way or the other. Just because they don't name it, that don't mean you ain't still getting it. It says, depending on tax state, typical take home might land roughly between $72,000 and $78,000 for many people. And that's not most people who make 100. I'm not gonna say most, but it's a lot that got student loans. And so you can take a good chunk out of that. I knew somebody's paying like $1,200 a month just for them. And I think their wife had student loans too. Thus, people earning 100 gross, a group that's already minority earners, are unlikely to end up with 100 after. So just get to the goddamn number, man. So best guess. It says maybe 10 to 20%, but it's closer to the lower end. About 10% of Americans make over 100. Then out of that over 100, to be in the 1%, rich people don't even really count somebody as rich until they got like 20 million net worth or something. Like in rich circles, from what I done read and did research, they don't even count you ain't rich for real until then. Anything below that, they just look at it like, you doing all right. But it's crazy where we at. Let me scroll down here. Hey, let's see. Seems to me he's being led by the nose, by the tech bros and the rich. 100%. That's they all in the same game. That's all it is. It is just rich people taking over right now. Let's see. Crack wasn't fun. Cocaine was okay. I'm just going by what a couple of crackheads told me. But they also did they did cocaine too. I ain't go front. Everybody, I don't only seen a few people be comfortable enough to do cocaine around me, because most of the time when somebody told me that, I would look at them like they were on crack. But the few times somebody did it, they burn out. The end of it was horrific and made me never want to do that shit ever, because they had very unlimited income. So they would spend like $600. They spend $600-$700 by the end of the night. And and be fucked up the next day. And I'm like, I will never do it. Never do it. I think crack come in when if they can't get enough, if they can't get no cocaine and they just need some more drugs. This conversation go flag the video. I done messed up already. Drugs are bad. This is informational and educational about drugs. I gotta say that. Hopefully the algorithm picked that shit up. When he told that interviewer he was better looking than New York mayor candidate, he said that. Was that when old buddy was up there with him? Which is very scary to me. I'm very interested to see how it's gonna turn out because Trump likes being around people that's winners, that other people consider winners. And he siphons. He just like Drake. Trump is just like Drake. He surrounds himself with people, or no, he wants to be around people that are better than him, that other people, he know for a fact other people think are better than them and seem like he cool with them. I hope that New York mayor is, just is cognizant of that and uses it to his advantage. We shall see. We shall see. I would love to tell him his reality. Just be honest with him about his childish stupidity. He just go off. He would just go off. For him to actually have a narcissistic collapse, it will have to take somebody that he respects and looks up to destroy him. Like somebody that has more than him, not only just financially, but respect wise. That's why Obama hurt him so bad in that meeting. A lot of people say the only reason he really wanted to run for president was just to get back at Obama, because Obama made fun of him in a meeting, and he was like, that's why he's so gun-ho on destroying everything he put, because he knew Obama was more respected and well liked and funnier than him. And they say he cracked that joke, and that's put him on a warpath to where he ain't no telling what he okayed to get up there. Probably sucked many more penises than the one that we read about in the emails to get where he's at. People here and there have that colonization itch to feel better and more powerful than someone. Yes, I was telling somebody else that's why America will never like revolt like other countries and stuff, and it's going to be very difficult to establish a UBI here because America is based on I'm better than you. That's where the hierarchy come in. You are taught in America to be better than the next person. That's where keeping up with the Joneses came from, because we get taught that you see somebody in a certain car, that mean they doing good in life. Forget the debt that they went into or whatever balls they had to suck to get it. That's how we have it. Then the people that sucked balls to get whatever they had to get, or did deplorable stuff, or worked real hard, let's say they didn't do no deplorable stuff, once they get to that level, they feel, the majority, not all, but the majority of people, once they level up, they feel that the people below them have to do the same or they don't deserve nothing. And that's why hierarchy here is so concrete. Same thing, I remember it was some people when they was doing the college loan forgiveness, people was like, oh, that's messed up, that ain't fair, I had to pay back my loan. We are a society of if I get screwed, everybody else got to get screwed too. We not a society of, well, I got screwed, I want to make sure that nobody else gets screwed. That's not the majority of our society, and we all got indoctrinated with that stuff, with sporting events, Survivor, all the game shows we watch. Everything we watch is to be better than the other person, and you are stronger, smarter. They all to ignore that it's a system. All these games have systems. They all set up. And so it's going to be hard for UBI, because somebody who had a bunch, not gonna feel like it's fair that they get the same amount as somebody who didn't have as much as them, and they get up to that level at the same time and stuff. It's not gonna work. And we ain't gonna rebel because they good buffer zone the people that's doing all right. Be like, I grew up poor too. Look at me, I made it. And they go tell everybody else down there, you should have worked harder. Instead of just not understanding the system, gotta let a few people up so that they can maintain the system. Sad state of affairs that we are in. So Lay Moonfry, that's her name. That was her name. Watch that documentary if y'all got a chance to. Let me see so y'all can see what it is. What is it? Soleil Moonfry documentary. Not the review, just a documentary. Kid 90. This was a very, very, very interesting video and stuff, documentary and stuff, and just see they was just partying, had no parents around. Her mom was around, but she really kind of didn't have no rules, but she's still cool with her mom right now. And it's real eye-opening of how the other side, the people that, when we was growing up, we was like, yo, I'd love to be one of them, and be like, no, you didn't want to be on there. River Phoenix, that's exactly who it was. LL Biddy, appreciate you. Wendy's was the initiator of the 99-cent menu, and I remember never forget when they had that single stack. You could get a double stack for 99 cents, and that's when Wendy's used to taste delicious. Now Wendy's tastes like ass. Then McDonald's copied. They came with the McDouble. Now a McDouble is $42.73. It is trash. It said, luckily we still have Greg's and Wenzel's. What's Greg's and Wenzel's? I don't know what this. Lone Star Meat Company. Is this what you talking about? This is a barbecue place? Hey, check this out. Let me make sure I ask this question. Cause me and my homeboy was talking about foods that's safe, and I barbecue all the time. He's like, one day we was talking, I was like, yeah, I'm barbecuing. He's like, yo, I was like, yes, I know. I'm pretty much smoking a pack of cigarettes when I eat my barbecue and stuff. So don't matter. It's delicious. Let me see if that's factual. Does eating what is it? Eating charred meat cause cancer. Yeah, let's go here. Let's see. And unfortunately, because you literally eating smoke. Okay, it ain't no different than cigarettes. It says, yes, eating too much charred or well-done meat may increase cancer risk, as high heat cooking can produce carcinogen compounds called heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polyocyclic aromatic. Anyway, while population studies have not established a definitive link, some research suggests higher risk of certain cancers is best to limit consumption of charred portions and focus on balanced diet. Babe, I thought she was in here because she be liking, she eat well done, but and I'm gonna be honest, just well done is not good anyway. It's just not good. But yeah, you basically are soaking meat in cigarette smoke. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I know this, but if I'm gonna go, I wanted to go deliciously. All right. Let's see. Have and have nots. That's exactly where we at. That's where we is at. We is there. Word right now with Ontario putting 25% energy tax on U.S., which affects NY, Michigan, and I think Minnesota. Wow. And with all of these data centers going around, Texas just passed these folks, and they worded the law real stupid. This water, it wasn't conservation, but the water infrastructure bill, right? It sounded like it was go help everybody. No, this water infrastructure bill is to build out the infrastructure for the water for the new, I think it's Amazon. I think they building a new data center here for their AI stuff and AI regular data centers. I used to work at Microsoft data center when I was in San Antonio. That place was it 3 football fields? It might have been 2 football fields or 3 football fields, like in a line and wide. That's how big it is. A data center is nothing but rooms full of servers. If you got a high-end computer, you know how hot they can be. Even your work laptop, I know you don't feel how hot it be. Your phone can get hot. Servers get extremely hot, like hot to the touch, might burn you hot. So they have to be cooled. So inside a data center is just servers and then air ducts and air conditioning. And it takes a massive amount of water to do all that cooling and stuff like that. And so if you live near one, I'm pretty sure your water bill, if they don't subsidize it by the city or something like that, your water go up. Well, this new infrastructure is going to raise the taxes in all these cities to pay the bill for the data centers to come in, because they gonna be providing jobs, but really it's just gonna screw everybody up and mess up the environment around there as well. Tariffs are taxation without representation representation without taxation though, and spending isn't authorized by Congress. Word is he has spent all of the tariff money. Word is he is a thief and a scammer. You know damn well. He be doing commercials. It's already messed up. Congress them be doing insider trading and stuff. They should not be able to participate in the stock market the way they do, because they are in control of the regulation and stuff. But Trump and his son and anybody related to him done pimped the unregulated crypto market, which is why it's not regulated, so all the rich money can come in and do all of these pump and dumps and take all the people's money. But he's selling these HB1 visas. It's like a infomercial. That Trump Gold card or whatever. The commercial for that is egregious. Egregious. Let's see. Can we find a commercial? Let's see. Because that's what it is. It's a damn commercial. I feel like searching real hard for the shit. But yeah, that shit is egregious. And this is just bribery to get into this country from other rich people. Whitney told y'all crack is whack and crack is cheap. Whitney was damn lie. Whitney did rocks. Okay, we seen it on the show. She was past cocaine. We gotta be real. She said that because that's what crackheads do. Okay. She gave a cracky answer. All right. All of our faves. They all end up to. I remember was it Robert Downey Jr.? The Iron Man was talking about crack and just how, hey, coke gone, hey, just break out the foil, buddies. It's time to start cooking. Let's see. Didn't they reboot the show with her daughter and her for a second? What, the Punky Brewster? I believe they did. Showing the meat is where it makes it unhealthy, but it's so tasty, like hot dogs. Nothing is better than burnt hot dog. I'm talking about black. I'm talking about the hot dog is crispy on the outside. Nothing is better than that. And yes, you might as well be smoking a Black and Mild. The worst stuff is the worst for our health. It sucks. Wenzel's is a competitor of Greg's. They're both pastries and hot drinks. They do. Oh, okay. I thought it was a barbecue place and stuff. Let me see. Greg's. I want to see what that is. Greg's. Pastries. Pastries is a hard word. Pasties. I said it's an R in there, ain't it? Pastries. Yeah, that's closer to it. Is that in the UK? Oh, that's in the UK. It's this cookie place from the UK that's down here in Dallas. UK Cookies, Dallas. They make these soft and chewy cookies. What is the name of a cookie company? It's a dude's name. It's one dude, and it's got. Me and my daughter did a cookie review on it one time. What was it? British. Dallas. I guess I can't find it, but it was downtown. It started with it was red and white. Let's see, UK Cookie Company. One Dunk, one the Giant Cookie Company, one Bang. I don't know, but it's red and white. Uh-oh. My damn Vivance is wearing off and shit. See, it ain't Davis. They ain't got them over here. Ben's. Is it Ben's? Yes, they got Ben's cookies here, which are very hella sweet, but they good. They are good. It was Ben's cookies. If y'all never had it, you should try it out. They was super taxing. They had crumble prices without crumble sizes. Yeah, burnt, charred. Don't think it matters if it's smoked or not. Even bone meats like frozen pieces. It said would be careful eating anything burnt badly. Yeah, I'm dead. I like my steak crust. I like it to be medium well in the middle, but I like crunch on the outside. I'm sorry, I just do. They're expecting us to use all our petroleum to make AI work. We are toast. I have a theory that petroleum is just like diamonds. I don't think it is rare as I don't think we are anywhere near running out of it in any way. I really do believe that. Just how they move on certain stuff. Oh, meat field pies. Meat potato pastry type thing. Kind of like a Michigan. Okay. Kind of like a shepherd's pie type thing or pot pies or something like that. Is that what you're talking about? All right, y'all. I'm about to get my punk ass off of here. Thanks for joining me. I shall be on. If it's some news to talk about, I'll be on tomorrow. If not, I might be on this weekend. On this channel, I ain't came up with my schedule yet, but if I got something to talk about, I'm gonna hop on and or post video about it. So yeah, appreciate y'all. I have a good Thursday and have a good Friday, and we'll see you on the struggle tomorrow if you about that life over there. And I gotta get my email list too. If you ain't signed up for the email list, let's see. Yeah. Please sign up for it. Now this is struggle stream, but it's all connected. Okay. So if y'all want to stay in contact with us, just in case it all disappear one day, make sure you sign up for that so we can get you hooked up once I start sending out emails about stuff and giveaways and stuff like that. But y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace out. I'm gonna do the outro again because I really do like my outro.